I begin in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful.
Before we end it, can we see some of the sandals, Ronnie, on camera?
Are they handy or
do you have them, or are they far away? Or
Yeah, they're very far away.
so
the
next episode then.
Yep, want them all in the background, lined up.
Yeah.
Each of your children holding one.
Yeah, they had a trophy case that I bought and paid about $15,000 for.
Whoa, $15,000 for the case.
Yeah, for the case. Yeah.
Ronnie,
It was a special. The company came in and made it. Special company made it.
Wow.
Ronnie, you've always been so good with your fans. I think that's one thing you'll always be remembered for. What would you say is one of the most memorable fan moments you've ever had? One that's always stuck in your mind as a really special memory?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say.
Pick one.
Maybe the ones with the tattoos.
What's that?
There are a couple of fans have my image tattooed on their body.
Okay. Was it you, AJ? Was it you?
I have one on my
On your lats.
Wow. Yeah.
I wouldn't have believed it.
Really? So what was that like when they went, Ronnie? I've got something I want to show you. Boom.
It was kind of pretty amazing. It was overpowering for real. I mean, I can still remember those moments like it was yesterday.
So what about?
Because it was so recent, actually.
Okay.
One of them was a girl, a female. Like I think she's maybe 19, 20.
Wow.
And she put a Ronnie Coleman tattoo on her in 2000 in modern times.
I put it on Instagram.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
We're going to check that and put it into the episode.
So, Ronnie, I mean, you've probably made such a big impact to some people's lives over the years. Have you ever had anyone come back to you and say, Ronnie, you've helped me through depression, or, I've had seen your trials, with your back issues and stuff. Do you get a lot of those kind of things where people say, Ronnie, you really helped me get through a very difficult time?
Every appearance I make, I get at least 2 of those.
Really?
Every single appearance.
How do they make you feel?
I get more than 2 or 3.
Really? How do they make you feel?
It has inspired me to really go on a lot of times. And, when things were hard, difficult, it has really inspired me to keep on pushing myself.
I mean, Ronnie, you've had obviously a very difficult time with all your back surgeries. Do you feel like life is a lot better now that you're kind of through the worst of it?
No, I don't.
You don't.
Mhm.
So it's still very challenging for you.
Still, every day. Yeah.
Really?
It hasn't gotten any easier. It's gotten better. It hasn't gotten any easier. I used to be in a lot of pain, but now, that's eased up a whole lot.
Doctor said he's going to go in and perform a surgery in which he's going to take out screws, because all they're doing now is just causing the pain. And when I say pain, it's a lot of pain. It's like 24/7. It never stops.
I won't lie, I cried the first time, and especially when the hips went, and he had to use a walker and all that. That was tough for me.
He's still working out. I don't think he'll ever stop. It's probably not the best thing, but for his overall well-being, I think he needs to.
They're called oxycodone. They 30 milligrams. I take about 4, sometimes 5 a day, every single day. This is the highest potency you can get.
So why are you worried if it's that much better? Why aren't you feeling better then?
Well, my numbness, it hasn't gotten any better. Okay. And I don't know if it's the screws or what. Ever since they put those screws and rods and cages in me, it's been real difficult. The screws, I think, are limiting my blood flow, and the cages and the rods are making me weak.
Right.
Because before they put those rods in me, I used to be kind of strong, and I used to get good pumps. But now, I don't get good pump, and I'm not even a third of the strength.
Really? So is that to all areas of your body, or just because you're looking big at the moment? You're looking good.
No, yeah, I'm glad you said it because I don't think so.
Well,
I guess when
you're filling the
when you
screen,
did-
mate.
Yeah, when you beat 300, it's kind of hard to.
Giles, you never been 300 pounds, bro.
How do you know? How do you know?
I'm talking about 300 pounds real on stage.
On stage.
Well, how do you know? Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you said 200.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably never be satisfied with with the body I got now. It's gonna take a long time because I see pictures of myself and it's kind of depressing a little bit.
Really? But I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I guess because for so long I was so big and so muscular that now I'm not.
and that probably never changed. But you look at the bright side. You are those pictures you had when you were your best. No bodybuilder ever has come close to that, Ronnie. And kids teenagers all over the world still use that as inspiration for their training to get bigger, to get stronger. So that has to feel at least we can't be our best,
Yeah, I think that's why I'm so good with the fans because they're still kind of impressed by it.
Well, very impressed by it,
And I don't kind of forgot about it, for the most part.
Like Dorian Yates, Lee Haney, they're not. There's.
They weren't like Ronnie.
Food for champ. All about hardcore dieting. Hey, I got the whole gym to myself. Woo, you gotta get this right. This is heavyweight. Oh, the gym is empty today. Nobody wants to work out. Another challenge. Square rip. 200 pounds, baby. 5 weeks out. Woo!
No one can take those Sandows away from you, mate. Never. Unless we break into that case of yours.
So let's go to this Mr. Olympia a little bit. Do you follow at all the open class a little bit or?
No.
Not at all? Nothing?
No.
At this Olympia, Giles is going, myself is going. Can't you sit with us a little bit and watch the finals, Ronnie?
Come on, Ronnie. Come on. Come on. We want your feedback.
Yeah. If you twist my arm, I might be.
Oh! We've got it on camera.
We got it on the camera now.
So, that's contractually binding, Ronnie.
Yeah, it's going to be real hard to do, though.
Because there's a new guy called Brandon Curry. Have you heard about Brandon Curry?
Yeah. I'll never lose the respect, because I know that, to me, this is the hardest sport in the world. I love boxing, MMA, football, basketball, hockey, all the sports. I mean, they're all hard. You have to do so much to get in shape and not get injured and not stay injured all the time. But bodybuilding, man, it's just on another level. And the pay, everything. Those other guys, you play basketball, $200 million contract.
What? Yeah, basketball is
$200 million.
What's your favorite team, by the way, Ronnie, in NBA?
Maverick.
Dallas.
Yeah. And I like Golden State Warriors too.
Yeah, they're won the last 3 years, other than last year. Yeah.
So, bodybuilding by far and nothing comes close to the difficulty that we go through and the money that we get paid.
We spoke 2 years ago outside the Olympia, and the two names that you were very impressed by, you brought these names up specifically, were Big Ramy and William Bonac.
Yeah.
Those were two.
Still high on those. Yeah.
Would you like to see either one of those win an Olympia?
To be honest with you,
Yeah, let us hear.
I like to see just about any and everybody that works hard win the Olympia. I'm still kind of disappointed and discouraged and not so happy about winning they because Flex and Kevin I think should have won a couple along the way.
Really?
But not over you. But
I still think they should have won.
What year?
I don't know.
Just that they were so good. He meant they're so good bodybuilders. He wished they had one.
Okay.
But not. That's
in a year that I didn't win.
There you go. I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
I said any year I think we faded out. Any year that I didn't win.
Ronnie, I want to ask you a question. A primetime Dorian and a Phil Heath at his best. Who wins?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Phil there all day.
All day.
Yeah.
Why?
Phil is one of my. I think Phil has one of the best physiques out there.
Really? Do you think he'll come back?
Next to mine, huh? I've been talking him into it, but sometimes this sport is so hard, man. People don't understand it. You'll never understand this until you go through it.
Would you like to see Phil come back?
Ever. Nothing. Boxing is hard, and MMA is hard, and football is hard, but bodybuilding is too. I can see why, some of the athletes nowadays are retiring real early, It's so hard now. It's so hard. So much competition,
Yeah.
Everybody is bigger, faster, stronger every single day. Even the kids coming up now, like bigger, faster, stronger.
Would you like to see Phil Heath?
Everything.
Yeah. Would you like to see Phil Heath tie yours and Lee Haney's record and take 8 Olympias?
I like to break it.
You'd like him to break it?
You'd like him to break it? Why?
Records are made to be broken.
Yeah,
I think it makes it better and more interesting for everybody.
Really?
You think he can do it?
Mentally, I don't know, but physically, I don't know. Like I said, the sport is just so hard, I think maybe if he'd won last year, maybe.
Yeah.
But he didn't win, so it's so hard to come back after you lost. I remember when I lost,
How was that? How was that feeling?
I struggled the next year getting ready.
In what way?
It was real hard for me. It was real hard.
What's your thoughts on Dexter Jackson? Because this guy is like he's 50, nearly 50 years old, and some are saying that he could win the Olympia this year. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I've always liked Dexter's physique, his work ethic and everything. So I totally agree with him. I think he can win too.
You think he can win again?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. With this class of guys, yeah. With our class, no.
Everybody, come on.
These guys in this era, yeah. I think Dexter could easily win.
When did you see a switch go down? Around what year did you see it go a little bit down in quality?
See, this is 2019. I'd say like the last 3 years.
The last 3, yeah, I would say, yeah. The talent is not the same.
Yeah. It hadn't been. The guys haven't been like conditioned like we were.
What do you think of the new?
I don't know if it has to do anything with laziness. Some of them are afraid to train real hard because of what happened to me. But a lot of people don't know what happened to me. It had a lot to do with my childhood The surgeries that I've gone through, weren't done properly. I don't think. And, I think that has a lot to do with it, not the fact that I, trained real hard, and did all this heavy weight and all that. I don't think that had anything to do with what's going on with me. As a matter of fact, I know it doesn't because, when I retired, I was still pretty good and healthy.
Yeah.
Just after I started having those surgeries, some of them weren't done properly. It wasn't done the right way. And I found that out the hard way too, from not being able to walk and having to use crutches. Because before surgery, I could walk.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was real strong. But after surgery, I was real weak and couldn't walk. I had to go through rehab for I was in a rehab hospital for like a month.
Whoa.
Just in the hospital.
Yeah. Not
being able to go home for a whole month and rehabbing and being in all that pain, and it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing easy.
Are we investigating this case? Is there any investigation on this doctor or?
Yeah, for sure. I've talked to some doctors that say, "Hey, that wasn't right. That wasn't done right. You should be walking fine. You should be great. You should be fine by now."
Yeah.
And I truly believe that because on some of the surgeries that I had, where I was in a lot of pain and I couldn't walk and had to go through all that rehab. And then at the end, I started getting better with the surgery. Found the right doctor, and I'm not in pain. I'm not. I can walk like I could before. It didn't get worse.
Ronnie,
better.
Sorry, Ronnie, tell us about your book launch.
The what?
Tell us about your book launch. We're excited.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get some positivity,
get some hype, man.
You gotta get positive.
Tell us about the book.
And your arms are looking really good in the screen, by the way,
I think
Ronnie.
you've been pumping up in the break.
Yeah, right.
We saw you. We heard you.
Buddy.
I don't think I can ever get that back. I'm too old for that. But I'm real excited about the book because I read some of it, after I wrote it, and I'm like, I kind of like the way this sounds. This sounds pretty good. So I'm real excited about it because I like some of the things that I said. I was real positive. I'm a positive person,
Yeah.
Some of the stuff, a few things were bad, but for the most thing, it was real positive. I tried to stay real positive, stay real upbeat about everything. But you can't be about everything. But for the most part, I like the way it came out.
So, is it coming out in hardback or paperback or both?
Hardcover.
Hardcover. Are you doing a downloadable? Like on a Kindle or something?
Maybe later.
Okay.
Right now we're doing the hardcover. We're doing different languages. We're going to do German, Chinese, and all that.
Are you doing any limited edition signed ones or like just a single print run?
The signed ones I'm going to be doing at Olympia.
Okay. Well, we definitely want one because we want to give it out on the show.
Yeah.
Definitely. I want to give it. No, we want to give it away as a prize on one of the future episodes of Nothing But a Podcast. But
yeah.
And I hope you got one for us as well at the Olympia, please.
Oh yeah.
So then we have a deal. You're gonna watch the Olympia finals with us. So the next episode we will have a breakdown of Ronnie Coleman's top 6.
Yep.
What do you? Is that? Can you agree to that, Ronnie?
Oh yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Verbal agreement, legally binding.
Well, we're looking forward to that episode.
Big time.
It's been a great podcast, and
we're looking forward to catching up with you at the hotel because I know you've got the suite with RCSS and you having all your meetings. I've already spoke to your colleagues, so it's we'll be coming over to say hi.
And which flavor is your best of the king cake? Because we both tried them. Which flavor do you like the best, by the way?
I like everything in peanut butter.
Yep. That's the one I had. That was lovely. That's the one I've eaten whilst we've been filming. So I wasn't. Yeah, it's very nice. I've had quite a few of the chocolate ones.
Do you like the peanut butter one? And what about the bars? Because I like the cheesecake one the best.
Same thing, peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Oh, I like the red velvet cake.
You don't like the red velvet cake?
I like the red velvet.
Peanut butter.
You don't like the velvet cake?
Yeah, you said that made me yawn.
No. Okay, Ronnie, this has been amazing. Yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah, we're really pumped now. We're excited to see you at the Olympia in Vegas. And yeah, thank you so much for taking this time, Ronnie. We really appreciate it. And I hope all the viewers have enjoyed this latest installment of Nothing But a Podcast. I can't think where they got the name from. Yeah, peanut butter. Yeah. So, Ronnie, thank you. And
see you at the Olympia.
I'll be there, for sure. Can't wait.
Yeah, good.
Okay, Ronnie. Well, we'll see you very soon, mate.
All right, sounds good. See you guys soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Ronnie. Me, your host, Giles Thomas, in the UK. And we're joined by, of course, 8-time Mr. Olympia, Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie, how are you, mate? We haven't spoken for a while.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, actually, well, saying that, I did actually see you, 2 weeks ago in Columbus, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, you were watching I think you were watching some of the female classes, weren't you? And you were sat with a lady. I think it was because you weren't there for RCSS. You were there for your book. So do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it worked out pretty good. I was mostly at Powerhouse Gym over there, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Selling the books, signing books and stuff. And then we had also on Sunday, so that worked out pretty good. So I don't know, it still worked out real good for me, being there at the show. Even though that the extra closed down, I couldn't sign there. I sold every single book that I brought.
Did you? So obviously you were signing your new book at the at Powerhouse Gym in downtown Columbus because you were supposed to be signing at the expo, correct?
Yeah, exactly. But everybody was working out at the gym, so a lot of people showed up there.
Yeah.
So it still worked good for me because I think I brought about 45, 50 books somewhere in there.
Okay.
And sold every last one of them.
Oh, fantastic! Fantastic.
Yeah, if I'd have known it's gonna go that well, I'd have brought more. But I didn't think that many people will still show up after they canceled everything.
Notifications on my phone, and I had like 115 notifications. And I thought when I got the first message, I thought I was joking. When did you get the message that the expo had been cancelled?
Somebody that lived in Columbus saw it on TV.
Oh, really?
And they called me right away and said they canceled the expo. So I called the people working for the Arnold Classic, and they're like, "Yeah, we working out the details now." I think it was like Tuesday, the day before.
Yeah.
The day before the show, it was Tuesday. Like you said, you were on your way. I wasn't scheduled to leave till Wednesday.
Okay.
So Tuesday afternoon is when I heard, and somebody that lived in Columbus just saw them talking about it on TV.
Wow.
I'm like, that's not true. So I called the expo, and they said, we are working out the details now. We don't even know we hadn't even finalized it yet.
Yeah. I mean,
that it was canceled too at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, 200,000 people that were supposed to be going to an expo that now wasn't happening. I mean, could you imagine what it was like having to make that decision to say, right, the expo was cancelled?
No, I really can't. Yeah, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do in these days and times. So you just, sometimes there's nothing else you can do,
Yeah.
So
you were supposed to be at the expo signing books, and so obviously that completely turned your plans on its head. So then you went to Powerhouse Gym and just started signing there.
Yeah. I go to Powerhouse Gym every year, just about, and I'll sit up there and just sign, a few autographs here and there, because I always go there and work out and stuff. And and a lot of times, people will interrupt me when I'm working out, for pictures and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, Okay, I'm gonna just go here. I'm gonna just sit up and just sign and take pictures right here.
Did you get any
Go in
training?
and work.
Did you get any training in, Ronnie?
Yeah, I trained every single day I was there.
What time?
Every day I was. I trained around about. So the show would start about 7. So I would train about 5.
Okay.
And leave about 6. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I saw you.
Leave about 6 for the show.
I think I saw you you were sat behind me, I think on the Thursday, and you're watching some of the, I think it was the figure and the classic. How much, did you see all the show?
I saw everything, because I got there right before it started, you know. So I saw the whole show.
Okay.
And I didn't, you know, watch every little thing. I think I left a little bit early to get something to eat or whatever.
What did you think of the show?
But I stayed. The show went off pretty good, I think. I think it went off really good, actually. There wasn't a whole lot of people in the audience for the women's show, but, you know, the men's show, you know, pretty packed for that.
Yeah. So what did you think of the return of Rami? What did you think of the results? Were you impressed with Dexter? Come on, give us a rundown.
I thought everybody looked about the way they've been looking the last couple of years. For me, guys just don't seem to be really that conditioned anymore. And it seems to be setting a trend now that it's a new era and it's a new day. So this is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So everybody seems to be following that same trend. Because I remember back when we competed, you know, everybody was like in real good, hard condition all the time. And you just had to bring it all the time. I mean, you had to take it to another level pretty much. At least I did.
I mean, it was like when you were on the guys who were on the Grand Prix tour, and I mean, you guys were having to travel. I mean, how many shows was it? I mean, I forget how many shows it was in so many days, but having to hold condition, travel, no sleep, competing, tanning, you know, tell us.
It was quite brutal. I remember in one year in 1997, we had 7 shows in 11 days.
7 shows.
That was the most brutal thing I've ever gone through in my whole entire life.
And I remember.
Because, you know, you be in Spain one day, you be in Germany the next, then you be in Italy.
Yeah.
And you got to fly, you know. So it was rough.
Well, I remember that 1 year, 97, when you went from, so like you were getting 5th and 6th, and then eventually you won at the Russian Grand Prix. And you were probably one of the only guys, because normally the guys would start off at the Olympia, and they would steadily get worse and worse as the tour went on. You did it reverse that year. You went from 6th to 1st, so you actually got better, didn't you?
Yeah. Because I had a little talk with my friend Kevin LeBron that was winning every show.
Yeah.
And he was letting me know what he was doing. And he was doing little tricks. He had some little tricks that he had created for himself that worked out pretty good.
Which he shared.
So
with
I
him.
used his that he was used to doing. You know, and that helped me out a lot. That helped me get a whole lot better. Because Kevin was just like, you know, he was in good condition every show, you know, show after show after show, and like I said, guys going to get worse and worse, but he wasn't, you know, he stayed the same condition. He just got better and better. So I figured he had to be doing something different. So I went to, you know, one night, you know. Too bad I waited to the last show. I probably could have did a lot better than some of the other shows. But for the last show, I couldn't sleep. You know, the last 3 days, I couldn't sleep at all. It was, like I say, it was a brutal tour. So I'm like, man, I need to do something. I'm tired of getting, you know, like 4th and 5th. And I'm like, I got, you know, 9th at the Olympia that year. And I'm like, this is just like one of the worst years ever. So I need to do different. To find out what these guys that are winning doing. So that's what I did. And it worked out really good because I won that last show.
Back then, I had a hard time keeping training partners, mainly because of the leg workouts. I trained very hard on legs. Generally, these guys would do good till they went through a leg workout with me, and then, you know, they didn't come back.
Ronnie came down here. Obviously, his potential was immediately obvious. I mean, the guy had veins poking through a basic training sweatsuit. I could beat him on everything at first. And then probably within 6 months, you know, I never beat him on anything ever again. It's almost like, you know, you got to prove that you want it, man. It's just having that heart to never give up.
In the was a slaughterhouse, wasn't it?
That was the one in Ukraine.
Oh, Ukraine, okay.
Russia.
Yeah, Russia. It was in a slaughterhouse, wasn't it? And I remember Kevin Horton told me the story of how all the carpet tiles were stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, you know, you get used to all these different kind of venues, you know, and there was one show that was in a big top.
Yeah.
And it was probably like the worst show ever. Mm-hmm. You imagine being outside in the summertime in a tent, no air conditioning, and you are trying to put on oil and it just running everywhere because you're sweating so much. Yeah. And then you go on stage and it's hot already. You go on stage, you get hit with these massive lights that makes it even harder.
Well, you dry out though.
And you cannot stop the sweat.
Yeah.
That was one of the most ever. Nothing like that.
But the thing is, on those tours, what was it like trying to... I remember 1995 or 96, the British Grand Prix, and there was Paul Dillette, Aaron Baker, Vince Taylor, and they were all ordering like burgers and fries and like whatever, you know, and I remember because I heard the story about how you made sure you got all your food. You were cooking your food in your room where the guys were just grabbing burgers and sandwiches, whatever. And you were like, "No, I'm gonna stay on my diet. I'm gonna try and pip these guys." And is that really how you managed to pull head?
Yeah, I did. I don't know where I got the food from. I think one of the guys that were he had his own gym. I forget his name. He had his own gym. And he would cook our food for us.
Okay.
And he would go out to the store and he would buy it and cook it. It was diet. Some guys would, you know, like me, I would eat it, you know, and take it with me to the next whatever. And that's how I survived. I forget the guy's name. I hate it. It's been so long ago. But it was like, say it was like 95, 96.
Yeah.
And everybody was eating burgers and everything. And this guy went to, you know, stay on his diet too. And he went and bought a chicken and rice and all that kind of stuff, and he cooked it for us. And some of the guys like me, you know, and stayed on the diet. Some of the guys like, no, I ain't that.
Yeah.
But that's how I stayed here with some of the guys too.
Yeah. So going back to the Arnold Classic, what did you think? Because I remember we spoke at the outside the Olympia in 2017, and I remember the two bodybuilders you were impressed with were William Bonac and Big Ramy. Now they were both on stage at the Arnold Classic. What did you think about them on how they looked 2 weeks ago?
Well, of course, William I thought looked pretty good. He was the only one that I really saw that was in real good condition.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they were kind of like average to me or whatever. I mean, they didn't seem like nobody really came to compete with him as far as conditioning goes. But William looked really good to me, but he was really the only one. And I guess judges agreed since he won.
So, thing is, you had... What about Dexter Jackson? Because there's a guy that his first Arnold Classic was in 1999. Here he is, 21 years later, standing on stage. I have my own opinion. What was your opinion on how Dexter looked?
I think it's probably one of the most amazing things I ever saw. You know, a guy his age that can really keep it together like that. Man, I still know how he does it. You know, looking that good at that age, it just seems unbelievable. It's almost like a miracle. I I don't know how he's able to do it, but it's working for him, and he's doing great. He's up there, top two. Top two, 3 in the world, whatever. It's just one of those things that you just shake your head at, and don't understand it. I know. Everything was gone.
Yeah, I mean, there's two. I think there's at least 2 occasions with Dexter where his legs have started to go, and they started to sort of shrink a little bit, and then he comes back on stage this year, and his legs are like back bigger than kind of they've ever been. I mean, how does he do it?
I don't know. It's like I said, it's one of those things that you just shake your head at and don't understand. Some things are just not meant to understand. Everybody's body's different, and like just a classic case. Because I know when I got that age, I didn't have anything, worth like that. I mean, I couldn't step on nobody's stage at that age.
Also at the Arnold Classic was your good friend Flex Wheeler. Now Flex Wheeler has had his had amputation, wasn't he? And I've seen you've been interacting with him on his Instagram, sending him messages of support. Tell us about have you speak to him regularly, because he's been through a really bad time, hasn't he, Ronnie? Like yourself, really.
Yeah, me and Flex have always been real good friends. He's probably one of my best friends in the whole world. Flex pretty much. I remember back in 1993 or 93 or 94 when he won his first Arnold Classic. Is when I went to and had a real serious talk to him, and he gave me all the information on how to be competitive, and things I needed to do to be competitive. And my whole career, I've gone to him, and he just gave me so much advice, along the way. I kind of like credit him for me winning my first Olympia, because he was the one that told me to go to Chad Nichols. And had I not gone to Chad, I would have never won the Olympia. Chad just changed everything for me. I mean, my diet, my training, everything changed when I went to him. Yeah. And it changed for better in a major way. And it was all because of Flex, because had Flex not told me to go to him, I would have never got hooked up with him. Never, ever got hooked up with him. At the time, I was working with some other guy, and thought that was the way.
Yeah. So obviously knowing what you've experienced with all your surgeries and all your problems, how have you reached out to Flex? Do you speak regularly, or because I could see that you were really trying to make an effort to try and support him, because he supported you in those early days, and I can see that he's really looked to you for kind of support and help, really, to get through this really terrible time for him. This last 6 months, it's been very, very hard, hasn't it?
Yeah. But to be honest with you, we've been friends, like real close friends, since like 95, 96.
Yeah.
And we've never been out of contact with each other. Flex has been in my house, and everything, and he stayed here at my house and everything. I stayed at his house, and we've been friends this whole time. It didn't just start, when he got sick and went in the hospital. It started way back in, like I said, 95, 96. When I went to him and had that first talk with him. And just along the years, we just always stayed in contact with each other and always talked to each other. And it never stopped. Every year, I was at his wedding, and everything, So we just been real close friends for a very long time. Very, very long time. Like I said, I give him a lot of credit for me being successful in the sport.
The most sort of crucial bit of advice you've given to him maybe in this last few months, have you, with what he's been going through?
Shoot, I ain't really gave him no advice, basically. Yeah. Flex has been pretty much surviving on his own because, when you land in that hospital, I've been there before myself. I've been laid up in that hospital for months at a time too. So when you're in that hospital, you just in survival mode. That's pretty much what he's been. He's got all that stuff on because you can survive a sport of bodybuilding, you can survive just about anything.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the hardest sport in the world by far compared to the rewards you get from it.
So you think your mindset from bodybuilding has helped you with your recovery, and you think it will help Flex with his?
Yeah, for sure. I'm almost 100% certain that's what it is.
Now you talk about survival mode there. I just picked up on that. We're in the midst of a bit of a worldwide kind of global crisis at the moment. I'm here in the UK. What's it like for you in America now? I just saw Susan. You're stockpiling a bit of food there. How's it been? What's it like out there? What's the mood?
Yeah, they starting to close everything here now. Yesterday they closed all the gyms. Metroflex is closed now. Of course, I got my own. So.
Yeah, Ronnie's okay.
So all the restaurants have been closed. They hadn't closed the grocery stores, so that's still a good thing. Because like I said, Susan just went to the store and bought a bunch of stuff. So for the most part, they're just closing everything one day at a time. They close all the bars and everything here.
I mean, when I was in Columbus 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was changing day by day. So what's it like there now? Are people kind of panicking, or are they just like, look, we're just accepting we can get on top of this, but we've just got to take precautionary measures?
Yeah, I think people are just taking precautionary measures. Ain't nobody really panicking now because it's one day at a time, and it's like I said, they closing stuff one day at a time. So for the most part, I mean, a lot of people have already been stockpiled on food and everything because most of the stores now just about out of everything.
Really?
It's limited, but fortunately they've been able to, stock the stuff back up when they run out. Only thing that's now is like tissue and paper towels for some reason or another. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, but I've always kept a bunch of tissue and paper towels here. So try to go to the store now, and it's nowhere to be found in none of the stores.
Well, in the UK, Ronnie, there's the three things I've noticed that are actually impossible to get are beer, bread, and toilet paper. So I just wanted to compare to how it is in America.
Beer here is easy to get, no problem at all.
Yes, so you were telling us about Flex Wheeler, and obviously he's had a lot of issues recently. So did you actually manage to catch up with him in Columbus?
Yeah. I saw him every day just about because I sat right by him.
Yeah.
He was sitting on the same side I was, right behind me.
Yeah, he seems in good spirits, though, doesn't he?
Yeah. Of course, I've been talking to him on the phone too.
So tell us about RCSS. How's everything going with the company?
Everything's going really good. The company, from day one, sales has picked up, distributors have picked up. We got more countries every year, so it could be better.
Good. Well,
as long as things are going up, you're kind of happy with that.
I was there when you sold your very first product. That was the first tub you sold, and it was a tub of Myoblitz, and I was right there when you sold it.
Yeah. Yeah, things have come a long way since then. We've started out with 2 products all the way up to like 30 now. 30-some products now.
It was the Resurrect and the Myoblitz, and now the range has completely changed now, isn't it?
Yeah. Everything's changed completely for the better.
You must be happy how it's developed over the last 9-10 years.
Very happy. Things gone way better than I could have imagined.
Good. I remember once when I was in 2014, and I was having a meeting with you and a couple of your guys in the Arnold Columbus, and they showed me they were flicking through a folder, and I said, "What's that?" And they said, well, "That's Ronnie's travel schedule." I said, "Oh, is that for the next month?" No, I said, "Is that for the next quarter?" And they said, "No, that's for the next 2 weeks."
Yeah, it was pretty bad there for a while. I was on the road almost 300 days a year.
Yeah.
The first couple of years we started the company. Well, it's scaled back a lot since then, but I'm still on the road a lot,
Yeah. How often are you away now then?
Now it's like twice a month.
That's not too bad.
So it's not too bad, yeah. But sometimes I'm gone for like maybe a week or two.
Okay.
Those are that's the only thing now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's gone for long periods of time, but sometimes I go and it's just for the weekend or whatever. So it's not near as bad as it was.
Yeah. Where's your favorite place to go?
Man, I used to always like going to Australia,
Okay.
Brazil, um, Colombia, places like that. Those are my favorite places to go.
Yeah, I think last place I saw you going to was it Dubai you were in?
The last place I went it's called Algeria. It's close to Africa.
Okay.
I think it's in Africa actually, right there in Africa there.
Yep.
But it was really nice over there. Really nice, a lot of nice people, and I had a real nice time there. I was there for about a week too. Everything went really well over there, and they've been going real well since I left. Also,
good. I remember seeing a picture on your Instagram. You getting was it a lion you were bit by? A tiger, a lion bit you on the bum.
Yeah.
And Ronnie face is fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of fun. That was in Kuwait. Yeah, they had those lions, those tigers out there. They were kind of scary at first, but the guy he seemed to be pretty good with it. So you just go ahead and interacted with it, So
what did you think?
He showed what kind of control he had over him.
Yeah. So what did you think when it actually bit you? Because it just nipped you, didn't it? It nipped your trousers.
Yeah, he was playing around, so I didn't really pay too much attention because he didn't come at me too aggressively. He just kind of like snapped at me. Pretty much.
Okay, Ronnie. Now we know you've had some recent hip surgeries, which was unexpected. Do you want to tell us about that and how your recovery's gone?
That's gone pretty good. I don't know what happened. I think it's just something that happened over time. Because I was talking to the doctor, and he said just like wear and tear because of my weight. When I had my hips replaced in I think it was 2014. And at the time, I was weighing 280. They put in a titanium hip because I weighed so much. They have titanium and they have like a hard plastic one. But he went with the titanium one because of my weight. Well, over time, because I was so active and everything, what happened was the socket surrounding the titanium hip broke.
Oh, right.
I don't know what happened. It didn't happen in the gym. I know that. It's just one day, I don't know, maybe I was walking or something and it cracked. And then I think just over time it just got worse and worse. And then it finally just broke. And I know when it broke because I was at home one day and I started to walk upstairs and it started making a loud noise. Before it just jump out of socket, and I just lean to the left, and it jumped right back in socket. It was my right hip. So I leaned to the left, it would jump back in socket. Well, when it started making that loud noise, I'm like, oh man, something's really wrong. It was really loud, Every step I took to walk upstairs, it would squeal, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta go to the I gotta call the doctor now. So that's what I did. I called him. I said, you know what? Actually, what happened was, I remember now. I was in the kitchen. Yeah, I was in the kitchen, and I went to make a step. And I fell backwards, and I hit my hip on the stove, and I didn't pay no attention because I didn't fall all the way down because the stove caught me from hitting the ground. I didn't think nothing of it. And then I went to walk upstairs. That's what happened. And I started hearing all this noise. I'm like, man, what happened? And I'm like, something ain't right. So I called the doctor right then and there. I said, hey, I need to come in and have an X-ray or something because my hip is really making a loud noise. I kind of like fell against the stove. I took the wrong step in the kitchen and kind of I almost fell, but I didn't because of the stove right there, and it caught me from falling. But my right hip did kind of hit it. Like, okay, well, come on in. We'll take an X-ray. So I went in the next day, took an X-ray, and he said, "We need to do surgery."
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he said we need to do surgery. So just go next door to the hospital, check in, and we'll do it in the morning. So I went to the hospital next door and checked in, and they like, we ain't got no bed, so you just gonna have to wait till the morning, gets here, and we'll find you a bed once the people check out or whatever.
Okay.
And they have people checking out every day. So that's what they did. I went to the hospital that night. I stayed overnight just in one of the waiting rooms. And then the next morning, I got up and they prepped me for surgery. And when somebody checked out, that's when they had me go into surgery. So I had to wait until somebody checked out a room
Oh no.
before I could go in. Wait till like 2, 3 in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Surgery. I mean, I had been there since 5 o'clock the day before.
What, were you sat somewhere or you just
In a waiting room.
in a waiting room?
I spent the night in one of the waiting rooms, yeah.
Oh my god. Wow. So you had another hip replacement basically?
No, not a hip replacement. They replaced the socket.
Oh, okay.
The titanium hip they put in had 2 sockets around it.
Yeah.
And both of them broke.
Oh.
So they replaced both of those sockets, and they put a cage around that so it wouldn't break again.
Okay.
Like a reinforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't be able to break this. They said press and everything you want to do.
Yeah.
And this is going to hold for a long, long time.
So when was this? When did you have it operated on, and how have you been since?
I had it operated on the 13th, and I stayed in the hospital for like almost 2 weeks till like the 24th, somewhere around that 25th.
Yeah.
And went home, and they had a nurse come over and had me go through therapy at home, and I did that for like a couple weeks, and once she quit coming over, I think I started doing everything on my own.
Okay.
Started doing my own.
So you're doing your own kind of exercise rehab at home, and how do you feel now? Then do you feel okay?
Yeah, I'm back to normal now, pretty much.
Wow.
I'm going to the gym every day, working out. Like 6 days a week. I'm doing back doing legs and everything. Pain is pretty much gone away, and back to normal already.
Wow. So how about your back? How's that getting on?
My back still has. I got 2 cages. Got 2 rods, and I got 14 screws. 14. So my back is still, problems a little bit.
I mean, the last time we had you on the show, on your show, you told us you were getting bad numbness. How's the numbness and the blood flow now? Is it any better?
The numbness is still real bad. Both of my feet are numb. My right leg is numb. My left leg is like partially numb. But I'm still hanging in there.
Yeah. So what's your current training split then?
My favorite exercise. This ain't nothing but a peanut. I can do this all day long, baby. Go for a little stroll. Come on. Just walk in the park. Ain't nothing to it. Yep. Just another walk in the park. Let's go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy.
train legs like twice a week. I train back like twice a week, chest and shoulders. You know, I train just about everything twice a week except for like maybe I'll switch it and do chest twice and then do back twice. So I train 6 days a week still. So I'm still doing pretty good at that. But I try to make sure to do legs twice a week because, like I said, I'm trying to get my legs back up to par, get them a little bit stronger.
I know you can't squat, but what can you do for legs?
So for legs, I do leg press, do leg extensions. I do like leg curl, seated, and I do a standing leg curl, and that's pretty much it. You know, I don't do a lot for legs anymore. I don't do any, like say, any squats, any hack squats, nothing like that. I don't put any kind of weight on my back or whatever. Yeah. So I just mainly do this leg extension and leg press for quads and the seated leg curl and standing leg curl for hamstring.
The bodybuilders managing with Metroflex being shut then? What about Branch and Johnny Jackson, and how are they managing?
You know what? They just shut it yesterday.
Oh, yesterday, okay.
Yeah, yesterday they shut it at midnight last night. So I think Johnny got his own gym.
Okay.
But he got a personal training studio or whatever, something like that. That he trains out of. And I'm quite sure Branch is, probably could go over there and train too. He could probably go to Metroflex, and train up there if he wanted to. I'm quite sure Brian will probably still train there.
Do you have any idea of how long the gyms are going to be shut for, and how the rest, how it is over there? Just no news at all.
No, they just saying until further notice. They ain't no date or no time or nothing. They just saying until further notice. So it could be a month, it could be 2. Yeah. I think they wait to see how the virus turns out, how many people get infected or whatever.
What do you think is going to happen in this next few weeks?
They're saying that they're getting ready to shut everything down for like 2 weeks. We went out and bought, like $1,000 of groceries and stuff earlier today. They just said this today. Yeah. My brother, he works for the state, and that's what they've been telling him. Yeah. So what's it like with everyone in the house all the time? Does it get pretty intense, or are you quite a relaxed family? I have so much stuff to do here. Yeah. I got the gym here. I got TVs in every room, and there's just so much. These kids got thousands and thousands of toys. We got playhouse out back. Yeah. And they got trampolines out there. I mean, there's just so much to do here. Yeah. It ain't gonna hurt them at all not to be home. Apart from training and any calls for work and anything, what films and what do you watch on Netflix? What's Ronnie Coleman watching at the moment? What's he following? Because I know you said to me a few years ago, you said The Flash was one of your favorite TV shows. Yeah, that's still one of my favorite shows. Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow. I got like 15 shows that I record, and that I got so much stuff recorded that I can't watch it all. Fantastic. Get a chance to watch Netflix more because I watch all these recorded shows. Yeah. So I got tons of shows on standby for me to watch. That I recorded, like every week. Yeah. I record like at least 15 different shows every single week. So apart from superhero stuff, have you got any recommendations for everyone on lockdown right now, Ronnie? See, I watch so much stuff here. I can't even keep up with everything I watch. It's mostly superhero stuff, though. I watch a few comedies. The Neighborhood, Wild 'N Out, 911, Lone Star.
Okay.
I got a lot of stuff. The Walking Dead.
Oh, Walking Dead, cool.
Yeah. And then we watch some of these American Idol shows. Got America's Got Talent and all that stuff. There's so many shows.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't even keep up with everything.
So who's the king of the remote control in your house?
There's so many TVs. There's a TV in every room.
Oh, okay.
So there's a TV in the gym. There's a TV outside on the patio. There's a TV in the game room.
Wow.
There's like 15 TVs in this house.
Wow.
I got TV in the car. I got satellite in the car, in both cars. So there's so many TVs to watch. Yeah. Everybody got their own TV here. Yeah. Everybody has their own TV.
So for the next few weeks, you're pretty much set to be on lockdown, whilst it kind of all these issues calm themselves down. What would be your message? Yeah. What would be your message to people that are kind of maybe panicking a little bit at the moment? You know, because there is, I think some people, they don't really get a grasp, but it's very uncertainty. It's a lot of uncertainty. What would be your message to those people who are a little bit scared at the moment?
Man, I just say find something you enjoy doing and do it. Some of the stuff that you always wanted to do around the house and do it. So there's, like I said, there's just so much stuff that you can do now. Yeah. You know, with me, I got this home gym. You know, this is my sanctuary for when I was winning all my Olympias and I couldn't go to Metroplex because people would bother me so much. So I built this thing here. I paid more for the gym than I paid for my house.
Wow. Okay.
And the gym cost more than the house. The house was $125,000. Okay. And I paid about $200,000 for the gym.
Wow, $200,000 for the gym.
$200,000 for the gym. Yeah.
I hope they gave you a good discount on the equipment, though. Come on.
Oh, the equipment was free.
Oh wow. So so you spent it on the building itself.
Yeah, I spent it on the building, and some of the equipment I had to pay for. Like, you know, I had a contract with Hamstring, Life Fitness.
Yeah.
And then I would do some guest posing with some companies that had their own equipment. You know, so I'd have to pay for that. But some of these things like Stairmaster, you know, I didn't have contracts with them, so I had to buy my own Stairmasters and stuff like that.
Let's go. Damn, my arm here come for real.
Did have to buy because I didn't have any contract with those people, but for the most part, everything, the equipment was free.
Yeah. So let's go back. Let's go back to the pro bodybuilding scene at the moment. What do you think is going to happen with the Olympia? Because with all the shows being cancelled, do you think maybe they're going to have to send out special invites, or they're going to have to let, say, the top 5 of certain shows or top 3 of certain shows qualify? What do you think is going to happen, and what do you think they should do to help make it a huge success in September?
Well, the top guys always already qualified. You're going to automatically be a good show, and you can't go wrong there. Or, you know, like sending out special invites, they can always do that. I think there's a few shows before the Olympia that, you know, they probably let the top 3 or the top 5. Because when I competed back in the day, they let the top 3 in some shows automatically qualify for the Olympia, and then some shows the top 5 qualify for the Olympia. So they go back to doing that, you know. So they got their own options they can go to. It's going to be good because, like I said, the top people in the world already qualified.
I mean, I was talking to Big Rami's manager the other day, and he was saying, you know, around the time, because Rami was due to go to the Isle of Australia, and then he had another show planned if he didn't qualify. So he was like, oh, obviously he'd have to win that to qualify. So, you know, if they don't relax the qualification rules, then, you know, Rami might not be in the Olympia, and he's a huge, you know, ticket seller. You know, it's so you think they should give like athletes like that a special invite?
Well, they can just go ahead and relax it and say, you know, the top 5 from the All Classics automatically qualify like they used to do.
Yeah.
That will qualify. I mean, like I said, they can do the special invite.
Yeah.
You know, they have several options. I think they can go to make it a good show.
What was your reaction when you heard that the Olympia had been sold to Jake Wood and AMI after 17 years had finally sold it?
I thought it was the best thing that could ever have happened to the Olympia.
Oh, really? Why?
Anybody that put on women bodybuilding shows and give them these real nice cars, they're the best thing for the sport because nobody else gave a damn about women bodybuilding.
That's correct, yeah.
Me, you know, that I'm gonna love it regardless, but some of the, you know, people are, you know, the higher ups didn't really care about it, but this guy, he was madly in love with it.
Yeah.
So if he madly in love with women bodybuilding, I just can imagine what he can do for men and everybody else. One of the best things that could ever happen. Should have happened a long time ago.
Wow. Have you ever met Jake Wood?
Never.
You never met him?
Never met him. Don't know nothing about him either, but from what I heard of what he's doing for women bodybuilding, you know, I thought it was the best thing that could have happened to the sport.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Okay, Ronnie, well, I think you're excited, yeah?
Yeah, very excited.
Definitely. So tell I mean, I know we're going to go back to the book, but how is the book doing? Are you happy with how it's doing internationally with your book?
I think it could be doing a lot better if I would get out and promote it. Back in the day, I used to go on a lot of talk shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I had people pushing for me to get on these talk shows. Right now, you know, if I could get a little better management behind me, I think I can get back on the talk shows and push it like that. Yeah. I think it do a lot better than this now. So I think I'm gonna probably in the future be looking for a better management team.
Okay.
To help me, push, you know, the book and stuff like that.
Okay, Ronnie. Okay, and also on your channel, you're up to 823,000 subscribers now, Ronnie.
Oh, nice.
So you were at 650 last year. So I'm hoping we can get to 1 million by the end of 2020.
That would be awesome. That would be probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. One of the best things.
Wow, one of the best things. What? I'm trying to guess. I'm trying to guess what the first one was. The biggest one.
Probably when it is.
1998.
Yeah. Nothing tops that.
Yeah. All right then, Ronnie. Well, I really appreciate the time, and looking forward to doing this again in a few weeks. And wish you all the best with your recovery, and glad to see you back training, and everything seems well. Stay safe on the lockdown, and I hope it all works out, Ronnie. And thank you for the time.
No problem. Anytime.
We'll speak to you soon, then, Ronnie. So what was it like when you went to countries when you weren't Mr. Olympia? What was it like then returning to those countries when you were? What was was there a real difference in response?
Oh, that was a huge difference.
Funny that.
It was like I went from this nobody guy to this like mega movie star. So yeah, it was a big difference, real big. You know, before I won the Olympia, you know, I did some international traveling. You know, it was okay. You know, I had a little small turnout. Yeah. But after I won it, everything was huge. huge turnouts everywhere I went.
What was the most memorable for you? What was the most kind of overwhelming? Because I've been with you when we've been at Madrid, and it's been crazy. The lines, I've worked with you on trade stands at FIBO and Body Power and all these different places, and I've seen like literally the queues, and like I've seen it where the sides of the booth has been literally like almost like wanting to fall on us, you know. So what was the most overwhelming one for you?
Well, one year I went to Brazil.
Brazil, yeah.
And we were in a mall. And this mall had about 5 or 6 floors in it.
Yeah.
And there were people the whole mall. It seemed like the whole country of Brazil had shown up to see me.
Oh, wow.
The mall was full of people.
Yeah.
When they brought me out, people went crazy. I mean, real crazy. They went so crazy and were trying to get to me. I had to leave and wait till they cleared some of the people out of there before I could come back out.
So you have lots of security then?
Yeah, that was one of the craziest things ever, right there. And when I saw something like when I saw that, you know, I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Wow. So
very overwhelming. Yeah. I mean, I think I took videos of it, you know, because back then I think I had a cell phone with a camera on it, and yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Now, I've heard a story, you know, where Beta Badai started the Oxygen Gym chain, because he started off with coffee shops, and I heard that when he first started up the Oxygen Gym, this is the story I heard, that he said to people he was bringing you out, and apparently no one believed him. And then, because you were, apparently, this is what I've been told, that you were the first one he flew out, and apparently that's what kind of really started the whole Oxygen Gym kind of, you know, the spotlight on Kuwait for being this new bodybuilding kind of mecca. So what was that like, that first trip to Kuwait?
See, Kuwait, it was okay. It wasn't nothing big or nothing major. You know, I was just at the gym taking photos. Layla, don't do that. Layla. No. I was at the gym taking photos with people. It was just a few people. It wasn't a lot of people. So it wasn't anything major to me, you know, because I never went out and on like to a store or something, you know, where a lot of people showed up.
Yeah.
So it was a small event for me, you know. It wasn't nothing big or nothing major.
So what do you think of because these are the early days? I mean, he's got his like a chain of the Oxygen gyms now. So what was it?
It was nice gym from what I remember. You know, I got a good workout and everything, but as far as it being something big and something major, it wasn't at the time. You know, right. I guess I was the first one. You know.
Yeah.
Like I said, nobody believed him.
Yeah.
And I guess word got out after I left, you know, that I did show up, you know. But like I said, that first visit, you know, it was small. It wasn't major at all. I guess because nobody believed him, you know.
Yeah, and then then you went home and they all regretted it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so next question: who's your favorite? Who's the best training partner you've ever had, and why?
I had to go with Vicky Gates.
Vicky.
Yeah. Best training partner ever. She was there every single day, trained real hard, never complained about nothing. Best workout partner ever. You know, I've worked out with other people, you know, they show up sometimes. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they wouldn't. You know, every now and then there'd be complaints about, you know, this or that. Not with her. She was there every single day, never complained about nothing.
So what constitutes a good training partner, Ronnie? What constitutes a good training partner for you?
Somebody like that.
Yeah, doesn't complain, turns up, and doesn't make excuses on leg day.
Somebody like her. shows up every single day, never miss a day,
Never.
and trained just as hard as I did, and never complained about nothing. That's what constitutes a great training partner.
So what was the worst excuse you've ever heard from a training partner not showing up to train with you, Ronnie?
Oh, I gotta go to work. That's the worst excuse. So that's what the excuse always was, basically.
Was it mainly on legs or?
No, actually, it's just on any workout. I guess it was true though. Everybody. I was able to set my workouts by the time that I worked, and I always worked the same shift at the police department every single year. I always worked the evening shift because we pick our shifts and we pick our time to come in also. So I always pick evening shift, late side, and that's the way it was. So I was always on the same shift, so I always work out at the same time. I guess some of the workout partners, they work in different types of jobs, so they don't get a chance to do that.
What's the shortest you've had a training partner for?
I never worked out with anybody besides Brian, Mark, Gus, and Curtis. Brian only lasted about maybe 2 years. Same with Mark.
Yeah.
And then Gus and my friend Curtis, they lasted probably about 5 years, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
1995, they were gone. 94, they were gone. So yeah, the longest it was like 4 years.
Thing is, you got to train with someone strong, because if you're doing 2,500-pound leg presses,
Exactly.
and you got someone who's doing 4 plates a side, it's going to kind of slow your workout down a bit, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we competed pretty good, for the most part.
Yeah.
The guys that I did work out with, all of them.
Well, I've trained at Metroflex, and there's no real weaklings in there, mate. They're all pretty strong.
Well, there's a few weaklings.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But for the most part, there was a lot of good guys in there. A lot of strong guys too.
Yeah. Okay. The next question: what's your favorite meal?
Mine has always been steak and potato.
Same as Dorian.
Yeah, steak and potato. It's still that today. And it's always the last meal of the day. And it's still that today.
Because you still eat very, very strict, don't you?
Yeah. I just eat, steak and potato, chicken and rice. Same thing, protein shakes. Same thing when I was competing. Not much change.
I remember you told me once your favorite protein shake is all 3 flavors: chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. You mix them together.
Yeah, until I came out with peanut butter.
Oh, that's what you like, that one, your favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite now.
So, okay, the next question: what's your funniest story as a cop?
Oh man, you know what? I don't really have any funny stories as a cop. For the most part, I don't remember any of them.
How about your weirdest day at work?
You know what? I really didn't have any weird days at work either. I was trying to remember something bad happening or something real strange happening. It was really nothing that I considered out of the ordinary that happened, basically. So I didn't really have any weird days at work either.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What do you like about your fans the most?
I mean, loyalty. Most of them are loyal, and really believe in what I've accomplished. That's the best thing I like about it.
So if you were at a show and you had to watch one female category, what would you watch?
Female bodybuilding.
Female bodybuilder. You like that?
Yeah. I've always been into the female bodybuilding.
Why?
Because, they train just as hard as we do, and they look just as good as we do. So I've always just had that, admiration for them because of that.
So who's the female Ronnie Coleman in the bodybuilding? Who's the best of all time?
Linda Murray. I think she won more than Linda Murray, and then there's Iris Kyle too. So those two always been, at the top of my list.
Yeah. So so we're hearing rumors that Kai Green's going to come back. What's your feelings on that? Do you think he will?
No, I don't think he will. I mean, why? Why would he? He just as successful as he always been, and he did real good. When he was there, and I think he felt like he was disrespected in a major way. And I know how he feels because I think I've been in his shoes a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, when I was coming up,
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt I should have done a whole lot better in a whole lot of shows. But because, I wasn't popular at the time, I didn't. So I don't see him coming back.
So going back to you, did that make you work even harder?
Yeah, it made me work harder, yeah. Because, I've always been competitive in everything I've ever done. So, yeah, it made me work a whole lot harder.
So what about Phil Heath? Do you think he's going to come back again this year?
No, I think he's done too. He's gotten second, and what did he get at the last one? Third?
Third, yeah.
Yeah, he's done.
I mean, you said in an episode a few episodes ago, you said that you thought because he took that year off, he would lose momentum, but do you think maybe if he does the Olympia again this year, do you think he can get that real kind of 100% Phil Heath back?
No.
Why?
No. Once you lose that momentum, your body only ages and progresses.
Okay.
To another stage. I've been there and I've done it.
Yeah.
I used to always think I was going to get back to where I was, after my surgeries and stuff. Never.
Okay, in terms of Big Ramy, do you think that anyone can challenge him this year for the Olympia title?
No.
No? Just no?
No.
Anyone? Do you think Hadi Chupin? Do you think Flex Lewis? Do you think Brandon Curry?
No. No. I don't see it.
So what if he doesn't come in condition though?
I don't see that happening. He's working with the right guy now.
He's working with Chad. He's working with your guy.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay then, Ronnie. I think we'll leave it there, mate. And it's always good to catch up with you, mate. And we've got a couple of guests lined up for the next few episodes, so we'll have to reconnect in a few weeks and get some more episodes and hear some more amazing stories from yourself and your sort of counterparts in the industry. And we'll have to really looking forward to doing that again with you very, very soon.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Okay, Ronnie, thank you so much for the time, for coming on your show, Nothing But a Podcast. And you're going to have to say it, Ronnie. You have to say it.
Yeah, buddy.
Bye. Thank you so much, Ronnie.
See ya.
Welcome back to Nothing But a Podcast with me, your host, Giles Thomas, here at the On The Rise Media Studio. And of course, we are joined by 8-time Mr. Olympia, Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie, thanks for joining us, mate, as always.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure.
Yeah. So Ronnie, I mean, we haven't spoken for a while, mate. How have you been? How's things been in the last few months with you, with everything going on, all the craziness going on in the world, mate? How are you?
I've been doing pretty good lately. Just training every day. hadn't been doing any work or nothing like that. Hadn't been doing any traveling. Traveling I done was just took the kids on a little vacation. I was some friends over in Vegas about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that's all I've done since March.
Wow, is that so? I mean, that was when you went to see Corey, wasn't it? Corey Matthews, your old training partner.
Yeah, I went to hang out with him.
Yeah,
and the kids, we got a little house we rented over there in Vegas, and they had a pool there, and kids hung out, and they went swimming every day, and then we went Wet and Wild every day. Everything is pretty kind of closed down, so there's not a whole lot going on. So, but that was something to do for them before they went back to school. So they actually started school the weekend that they were there.
Oh wow, okay.
But everything is online now, so it made it kind of easy.
Yeah. So I mean, so you had all of Corey's children and all of your children all together.
Yeah. Of course, he had 7.
7
I had
kids.
4.
And you got 4, so it was 11 children. Yourself, Susan, Corey, and his wife.
Yeah.
Wow, so you had a good time then.
Yeah, we had a little fun. Yeah, it was good to get out, and do some things, instead of being cooped up in this house all the time. But the kids do get a chance to go to skate practice every day. I got 2 kids do figure skating, so they get a chance to get out and do stuff all the time. But besides that, there's really not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, because I think we spoke, I think it was just shortly after lockdown, and the good thing is you're lucky because you can train because you have the home gym, so I suppose you can at least keep yourself sane by training at home.
Yeah. So I've been training at home, since everything got locked down, and I think gym opened up about a couple months ago, and I started going back there too here recently. I didn't go immediately when they opened up. I waited about a month or so afterwards,
right,
to things cleared up a little bit more. So I've been going there for about the last 2 weeks now.
Oh, training at Metroflex again.
Yeah, training at Metroflex again. I still do a little bit of training here too, because I don't want to do everything up there. I don't want to be up there that long yet.
Yeah.
Once everything gets a little bit better, I'll start going, full time doing everything there. I do most of my cardio here,
Yeah. So how much cardio and weights do you do now? You say you do weights every day? How much cardio?
Because of my disability, I can only do like 20 minutes now. I still have a herniated disc in my upper back, and my lower back is bone on bone. So my right leg is totally numb, pretty much, and my left leg is partially numb. So it's kind of hard to sit there with your leg being numb for like a long time. So the most I can get it up to now is like 20 minutes, but I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, so I think the last time we spoke, you said you had kind of a lot of numbness in your legs. Does that affect like when you get a pump when you train, and how does it affect it?
You know what? I still get a pump in my legs, but not like I used to. But it's a minor pump, yeah. So I don't have a lot of strength in my legs either. But we'll be going for a little treatment here, a little stem cell. Have stem cell treatment here now, and I'm doing that tomorrow. So hopefully, I get some more cells in there and get my legs a little bit stronger. So maybe I can get a better pump.
Yes, so you're getting stem cell treatment in your legs tomorrow. That's when it starts.
Well, it's actually in my back, because my back is what makes my legs weak. I got 14 screws, I got 2 cages, and 2 rods still there. And, circulation is kind of hard, when you got all that hardware in your back.
Yeah. So
my circulation to my legs is real bad, and the nerve, I guess the cells don't, generate as, since I've gotten older, they don't generate as fast as they used to.
Yeah.
So this stem cell treatment, it's like putting new cells in your body, because those come from the fetus, what's that part of the pregnant lady? Man, I forget what it's called now. I'll think of it. But it's new cells, and they're gonna inject it, and that's supposed to help out a lot.
So is that experimental, or does your doctor or physician have an idea of what's going to happen?
Oh no, it's been going on for a long time now, at least 10 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've talked to some people that had it done. They say it's done miracles for them.
Really?
Friends of mine, yeah. A buddy of mine said he had it done. He gets it done probably about once every 2 months.
Okay.
He said he could do stuff. He's my age. He said he could do stuff back when we were, when we young.
Wow.
He could do back, from back then.
Yeah.
Like 9 plates on the hack squat, stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. So hopefully, like I said, it'll be pretty good for me.
Yeah. So no chance of a comeback then after a few treatments.
Possibly.
Wow. So that's you must be yourself and Susan. You must be so excited for this now. I bet you're really excited to have this treatment.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this for about 3 months now.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time coming. And I've had so many people reach out to me to do it. I had one guy in New York said he was going to do it, and he kind of fell off. And then I had a guy in Mexico.
Yeah.
They said he was going to do it, and then the pandemic hit, and then he said once they got started back up, that he would do it.
Yeah.
So he called me about 2 or 3 weeks ago and said they back in business, but Mexico is a long flight from here, so I don't know if I'm ready to fly to Mexico yet.
Yeah.
But this is local, so I think this will be better for me. I don't have to go anywhere far. I can just drive like 30 minutes away, and I didn't come back home that day instead of flying and staying overnight for like 3-4 nights and getting a hotel and all that, and getting on the plane and being around all those people. So I think this is going to be a lot better for me here.
So Ronnie, tell us about the stem cell treatment. How is that administered? Is that like an injection into your back? Tell us.
Exactly. Yeah, it's an injection directly into your back. I think they put you up on a X-ray machine.
Yeah.
And they inject where you have the most pain and where the problem is. Like the most pain in my back is my 4 or 5, L4 and 5. I have bone on bone there, and then my thoracic, right, the mid back, right below my heart, I have a herniated disc.
Right.
So that's where he's gonna do the injections on me.
Yeah.
And of course, it's pretty. The needle that they use is pretty long. Because they got to go through a lot of muscle and a lot of tissue, so they gotta kind of like put you under, so you don't move around the body and doing these injections.
So we're telling us about the injections in the back. So how many treatments are you looking to get for the stem cell treatment?
He said probably 2. One now, which is this is October, and then another one in December, I think.
Yeah. So what's the prognosis? What are they hoping to? What's your doctor hoping for you in the next year? Is it more mobility, more strength, more size?
Yeah. More mobility, more strength. We'll just have to wait and see how it all. Yeah, I think everybody's body is different, so it's like a case by case basis.
Yeah. Oh well, we got to remain hopeful and stay positive.
Sure, yeah, for sure, more mobility and more strength for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge relief for you, isn't it? Surely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anything just about now is a bit of a relief for me.
So, I mean, one of the other things I was watching on your Instagram a few weeks ago, you went to see Joe Rogan. What was that like?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
That was actually in California. So I did have to fly out there to do that interview too. But it was pretty nice. You know, went out there and I think we spent the night. You know, got up the next morning, did the interview at his studio there. And it went real good. It went over really good. It had lasted about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And, you know, I left, went home afterwards.
What was his studio like? I'm jealous.
You know what? To be honest with you, it's pretty much like the one you got right there.
Okay. Well,
nothing big.
Wow.
It really wasn't. I mean, of course, he had like a gym in there and bathrooms and stuff like that. And then he had just a little room like you got right there. Yeah. But I hear now that he's expanded it. He's moved it to Dallas, Texas, and it's state of the art.
Oh wow! Okay.
So yeah, if you look online, you'll probably see it online. He's always talking about it. You know, of course, I follow him on Instagram, so
yeah.
He was talking about it about 2 weeks ago, saying he had moved to Dallas and got a state of the art, and it's something to behold.
Wow, because I mean he's had because he's into MMA, and I know he does his comedian stuff, but he's actually he has been a big fan of bodybuilding. I know he's had Dorian Yates in the studio, so now he's had you. I think he's had some other. I'm sure he's had a couple other. I'm maybe thinking of the other guy, but yeah. So did you enjoy going through your kind of life story and you like doing a long format interview? Was that fun for you?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, everything went real smooth and had a lot of fun. And like I said, about 2 hours into it, you know, he said, we've been going for like 2 hours. Like, wow, that went by real fast. It seemed like it was like 15, 20 minutes to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ronnie, couple of things. You are coming up to 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yep.
That's quite impressive, Roddy.
Yep.
It's
yeah, we away at it. Slowly but surely.
Are you ever surprised at how you're still so popular? There's still so many people that follow you, and I look at the subscribers. It's going up like several thousand every single week. How does that make you feel?
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm totally blown away by it, for sure.
So,
because I remember when Dorian stopped competing and how people just forgot all about it, and like he was never even there. You know, like, man, what do you have to do to stay relevant? And then all of a sudden, I come along, and you know, it's been about 13 years since I've stepped on stage now.
Yeah.
Still going kind of strong. I'm not as strong as I was, but
yeah.
Still out there. They hadn't forgot about me yet. Not
completely.
No,
I don't think anyone's forgotten about you, Ronnie. I mean, I saw the Joe Rogan interview, and I mean, it just got ridiculous amounts of views, and I was so happy to see that, to see the comments, to see the way that people like you with your success of your book, and people are so interested in hearing your story of the fact that you went from the back of the pack to the front of the pack, and it was all about that determination and that hard work and that strength of will, that character.
Yep, exactly. And it paid off in a major way.
Okay, Ronnie. So I think for Christmas, I want your fans to get you to 1 million subscribers for Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, come on, let's do it. You're nearly there, Ronnie. It's only 6,000 fans have just got to press subscribe.
On how many?
Yeah, 6,000. That's all. Probably less. It's probably more like 5,000, and that's all you need to hit 1 million.
I think I can do it.
Yeah, yes, come on. Also, Ronnie, RCSS, I believe, is hitting its 10-year anniversary very soon. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Oh man. Feeling pretty good about it. It's been a long road now. Came a long way.
Yeah.
I can still remember the first day
was that? Tell us about that.
Do you remember that first day? Well, we actually launched in Spain at the Arnold Classic, Spain.
I was there, Ronnie.
And yeah, Arnold Classic, Spain, and it was a nice crowd.
Yeah.
A lot of people showed up. You know, a lot of people bought product, and from that moment, I was like, okay, I think we can do this.
Ronnie, I was sat next to you.
I had a very good opening, you know.
Yeah.
Your first day is always determined how you're gonna really do, I think.
Yeah.
And we had a real good first day, debut.
Ronnie, I remember being sat next to you on your trade stand, and I remember there was that many people coming towards you. Had like a built wall on the booth, and I remember the wall was starting to tip over towards us. And you looked at me and I went, Ronnie, I said, I think you better move, mate, because I think this is going to collapse on top of us. There was that many people like pushing forward. It was incredible. I'll never forget that, Ronnie.
Yep. I'll never forget it either.
Fantastic.
I remember Brendan, my partner, some girl pushed him out of the way. He was highly upset. He wanted to fight. He was so upset with that girl.
Yeah.
She just pushed him like he wasn't even there. Get out of the way.
So I bet you've had some amazing experiences traveling the world with RCSS and everything else. And what was some of the kind of funniest stories you've got? Just tell us one.
Shoot, I just told you one.
Oh, that one. Okay, tell us another.
Yeah, that was one of the best ones.
Yeah. That was your favorite.
Yeah, that was one of the best ones. I've had some other ones, you know, similar situations. Like last year, we were in at the FIBO, and the same thing happened. But it got to the point where it was so bad that we had to close the stand down.
Oh God!
And bring in. We had one security guy, and we had to bring in 10 more. So they almost pushed the stand over again. You know, rushing the stage, trying to rush the stage. You know, everybody trying to get to the front.
Yeah.
They were so back. The place was so packed. So we had to shut it down. And like I said, we brought in 10 security guys when we opened it back up. We had went from 1 to 10.
Wow.
And we had to let everybody come in one at a time. Because there was a madhouse there.
Ronnie, I've seen you at the Olympias. I've seen you at FIBO. I've worked with you in the UK Body Powers, and I've never seen you once be anything but polite and full of respect for every single person that comes up to you and wants a picture with you and that wants to meet you.
Oh yeah, I ain't got no other way to be, because I'm truly fortunate to be in the position that I am, and I highly recognize that. So why not be any other way but the way I am? Very appreciative.
Yeah, I've always thought that.
Very appreciative.
Yeah, and I remember walking with you at the 2001 Olympia, and I remember watching you walk, and obviously you've got the biggest lats in the world. I remember thinking, why isn't he walking with his arms out like some guys do that just started training? I was thinking, this guy's got the biggest lats in the world, and he's walking normally, and his shoulders are down. I didn't get it,
Well, I walk like I walk,
Yeah, cool.
Not like some other guys do.
Oh, fantastic. Right, Ronnie, there's one final thing I want to ask you. I've heard that there's some top secret project with some app. Do you want to tell us about that? I believe you were filming all last week for it. Can you tell us?
Yeah, we're coming out with this training app, it's going to be virtual reality where I'm going to actually be there with people training them, on the app. And so they'll be able to take, selfies with me and pictures with me and talk to me and all this kind of stuff. So real excited about it. Like I said, we worked on it for a whole week.
Oh, wow.
Well, we got 70 exercises to show people.
Yeah.
And I'll be training them. And also we have a home edition where we got some a training crew of people that we hired that, people that I knew were pretty good in the sport.
Yeah.
And real knowledgeable. So we got them to train people at home and stuff like that too.
Great. So when did that launch?
Well, we're looking at January right now. Got to get all the content together, get the app together. So we're looking to drop it in January sometime.
So what is that, like an app you get on your, obviously an app you just download onto your phone from the App Store?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, cool. Fantastic. Yep. Oh, well, that sounds interesting.
Yep, yeah, we're looking, we expecting big things from it.
Good. No, it sounds
came
good.
out, got some real good exercises,
Good.
in this thing. Some of my best stuff from my, back in the day.
Oh, fantastic.
The exact same exercise I did when I won all those Olympias and everything. I went over all of those.
Wow.
About 70 different exercises.
Wow. So it was a full week of filming then?
Yeah, a full week of filming.
Wow, okay. And finally, how's the clothing range doing? Coleman Athletics.
Yeah. We got hoodies now. We had t-shirts. We're going to try to got hats also. We're trying to come out with some shorts and everything next.
Yeah.
Got a few pair right now that we're looking at. So hopefully they'll be the next thing we come out with.
Awesome.
But everything's going really good, Got quite a few orders in, and it's picking up real good too.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Cool.
Yeah, me too.
And finally, Ronnie, I've done a Ronnie, and I've got Netflix finally.
Yeah, me too.
So what are you watching at the moment, mate?
Watch a documentary too.
What are you watching?
Well, I watch a different movie like every Sunday. Me and the wife do.
Okay.
So it's so much stuff on there, you can never run out of stuff to watch.
So what's your two or three favorite series you've watched recently?
The last thing I was watching was The Order.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Oh, is that with the cult thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for it. Yeah, is that good?
Yeah, I was on like the 5th episode so far.
Okay.
So I'm not that far into it, so I still got a long way to go. Yeah. But so far it looks pretty good.
Oh, cool. Okay. So I was thinking of you when I was watching, because I know you like the Flash, you like Supergirl, which are kind of like the more family friendly type superhero things. And then I was watching like the Punisher, Daredevil, Luke Cage, a bit more adult themed. What's your take on them? Do you enjoy those?
I enjoyed all those. I couldn't believe they didn't get re-picked up though. Like Jessica Jones, was one of my favorite ones. Then Luke Cage was really one of my big time favorites. Then the Punisher was one, and then the Iron Fist also.
I've not seen Iron Fist.
That was really one of my favorites.
Oh, God, I've got to watch that now.
Oh, you need to see that. that and Daredevil was real good too.
Yeah.
They were all real good. I'm like, why did they not pick these back up? I don't understand this. But I guess it is what it is.
I think Disney bought Marvel, and I think they lost the rights or something, so...
No, man, it was bad situation.
I know. They pull you in, they get you watching, and they're like, sorry, guys, we've lost the rights now, so...
Yeah, you can't watch it no more.
Yeah. Okay then, Ronnie. Well,
well,
Ronnie, this has been absolutely amazing to catch up, mate. I'm so glad you sorted your Wi-Fi, mate. And also somebody sent me one of my Instagram followers, or whatever. He sent me a video of you stripping off at the 2003 press conference with Gunter, and he said, Giles, this is the greatest moment in bodybuilding ever. When you jumped up on the table and went, what you gonna do?
Yeah, I just put that on my Instagram last night.
That's why you...
Actually, this morning. I put on that this morning, yeah. And I said the same thing he said. You'll never see nothing like this again on the Olympia, on the Olympia stage again, at a Mr. Olympia press conference again.
I've got to be honest, Ronnie. I was at the 2001 Olympia, and I was at the press conference, and I was at the 2019 Olympia press conference, and I've got to say, the 2001 press conference was a lot more exciting.
Exactly.
You were never afraid to take your top off. You were like, come on, let's do it. Let's do it here and now. You know, let's get up on the table. Let's do it.
You know what? You know what year that was? We did that. That was 2003.
2003.
Yeah, that was 2003. So that was the year that Gunther had just beat me at the GNC show.
Yeah.
And he was thinking he had a chance at the Olympia. I'm like, dude, what place did you get last year? Did you get fifth? Is you gonna beat me? What you smoking over there?
Ronnie, I think if I was 286 shredded, I think I'd be jumping up on tables and taking my top off all the time. I think. I
was actually 300 at that show.
300
on that day. I hadn't dropped my water yet.
Oh my god!
So I was 300.
300 pounds shredded.
That day. I weighed myself that morning. I was 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I came down like 285.
Wow. Okay.
I was 286. That's what I was. 286. Yeah, that year.
Do you know what, Ronnie? I'll never forget. I was at the 2004 British Grand Prix, and I remember Marcus Rule came out, Chris Cormier came out, Chris Dim came out, and then I remember you walked out, and there was a guy sat next to me, and he hadn't been to a bodybuilding show for many years. So, of course, obviously the sport had moved on quite a lot in terms of size. I don't think you'd been to a bodybuilding show for 10 years. And then you walked out by yourself and then you just hit the radial biceps. And he actually sat back in the seat. He was like, he went, holy shit. He's like, he said, what? He said, what is that? He said, what is that even human?
What year was that?
2004. 2004, you won that one.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That was the year I was almost 300 on stage. I was 296 on stage that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for Chris Cormier and Marcus Rule that year.
Yeah, that was the biggest I ever been right there. 2000. Yeah.
It was insane, Ronnie. It was insane.
Yep. I couldn't believe how much weight I gained either. Wow. But it was only 10 pounds more than the year before, so it wasn't crazy big,
Yeah. So what would you go up to, say, like a couple of weeks after a show? Would you go up or down?
I always went up. Because I'm putting water back in.
Yeah.
I'm dehydrated up there on stage. No water at all, hardly. Not that water that's needed. I'm without all the water that's needed to function.
Right. Okay. So what was your all-time heaviest body weight? And I assume was it right after Olympia? Because you said you don't train for a couple of months after the Olympia. What was your highest ever body weight and kind of the leanest, the best kind of quality muscle?
Man, that's kind of hard to say. Probably 2004 when I was almost 300 on stage.
So October 2004, that was the biggest Ronnie ever that walked the earth.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. You don't want to
in shape.
In shape. Wow. Okay.
Because I got to like 330, in off season.
Yeah. Well, that's someone you don't want to rear end in a car and then get out of the car and a 340-pound Ronnie get out of the car, looking real mad.
No, not really.
Right, Ronnie, this has been absolutely fantastic to catch up, mate. Thank you so much. And are you going to be at the Olympia next week?
No, I'm saving my Orlando trip for Disney World.
Oh, okay.
A couple later, yeah.
Okay.
Taking the kids.
Yeah. Okay, and then Ronnie, any final message for your fans that are watching?
Oh, not really. Just stay happy and stay healthy. That's all I'm about nowadays. Trying to stay happy and stay healthy, which is not that hard, not that easy to do these days.
Yeah. It has been certainly a strange year.
Yeah, with this corona and all this going on, it's making time very difficult now.
Well, if anyone can overcome challenge, Ronnie, it's you, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if Ronnie can do it, we can all do it.
Built for it and made for it.
Yeah, nice. Okay, then, Ronnie, thank you so much. And if I don't speak to you before, have a fantastic Christmas, you and your family. And we look forward to seeing you very, very soon on Nothing But a Podcast.
Yeah, buddy.
He said it. I was waiting for it. Yep, thank you. Ronnie Coleman, thank you so much.
All right, guys. You have a good one, bro. We'll talk to you later.
Take care. Last time we spoke about your stem cell treatment. That was about 2-3 months ago. You said to me by text, you said it'll take probably 3 months to take effect. How's it going? Have you noticed any improvement? Can you give us any updates?
Yeah, it's going pretty good now. It's took away a lot of the pain for the most part. That's what the stem cell does. Helps with the pain. But he said you have to do it every 3 months.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying. So I have another shot coming up in about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him one day next week and we'll find out for sure.
See, I think you said to me, the shot was very, very painful. Where does it go?
Back. Right in the back where all the scar tissue is located.
So what does it
That's
do?
what causes all the inflammation.
Yeah, so what the stem cells basically brings down the inflammation, which helps the swelling and reduce the pain?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What about the numbness you talked about? Has that eased any?
No, you have to have another shot for that. That's another stem cell shot, but they don't offer that here in the United States. You have to go to another country for that one.
Yeah. So where are you going for this one then?
Yeah, for that, you had to go to Mexico.
Oh, Mexico. You went to Mexico for your stem cell treatment?
No. I said that's where I need to go.
Oh, right. Okay. For the numbness.
For the numbness, yeah. So I've been trying to work on that too.
So in terms of percentage, how much better are you feeling in yourself?
Probably at least about 20% better.
Oh, 20% better. So that's one shot and you're 20% better. So that's definite progress.
Definite progress, yeah.
Oh, good, man. I'm really glad to hear that. Really glad to hear that. So how many do you think you'll be going for then over the next kind of year? I mean, how long do you intend to do it for?
I'll have to wait to see what the doctor says. And we just have to base it on how I feel, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first one worked real good. We'll have like I said, I'll be doing the second one probably in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'll be expecting a lot from that one too.
Oh, good. That's great to hear. Great to hear, Ronnie. Right. Okay. Then obviously now the big news is we're just less than 1 week away from the 2020 Mr. Olympia. First of all, it's been moved to very close to the RCSS headquarters in Orlando. I mean, that's where the Olympia's been held. How do you feel about it being moved to Florida?
I'm not too crazy about Florida.
Really? Why?
I think Vegas is the best place for something like that. You know, they've had it in Vegas since 1999. So that's what, right at 20. Almost 20 years?
Yeah.
21 years, actually. Would have been 21 anyway. But, you know, once you find a place like that, you know, and then all of a sudden you have to move it, it's just not the same. You know, everybody, there's so much to do in Vegas, so many other places to go. Vegas is such a, you know, much bigger city with a you know, higher per capita of events going on. You know, there's so many other things going on in Vegas, where in Orlando, you basically just got, you know, Disney World, and not too much else.
And a lot of humidity.
Yeah, yeah. Which is a good thing, but at this time of year, but still, you know, it's not worth going just for that.
But I mean, back in the 80s and 90s, I mean, 1992, your first ever Olympia, that was in Helsinki, Finland. Well, I mean, so you prefer it? Well, you would happier for it to be just all in Las Vegas. What about the people that kind of say we should move it all around the world? What do you say to them?
Yeah, no. It's better in Vegas. If they got a Vegas all around the world, yeah, we should move it there.
So you're saying Las Vegas over an ice rink in Helsinki?
Any day.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst Mr. Olympia ever.
Really, the 1992 one, because it was an ice rink in the day, and then so it must have been pretty cold.
It was freezing cold. Freezing cold. Not very cold, but freezing cold.
What about even with the lights? What about being the lights? Surely the lights would have kept you warm.
No. Lights wasn't that hot. They have to have that thing cold, at all times. And it stays cold at all times.
Oh god. So okay, then you got Helsinki, Finland, and then you had the slaughterhouse in Russia on the Grand Prix.
Yeah. Well, I like the slaughterhouse better than the
Oh really?
than the yeah, for sure. At least it wasn't ice cold in there.
yeah. So, see, I thought you'd be happy about it moving back to Florida because I was reading in your MD column, there was you were saying in 1991, was it correct that you were the security at the Orlando, Florida 1991 Olympia?
Exactly. Yeah, I was.
How did that come around?
Huh?
How did you get that gig?
Oh, a friend of mine knew the guy running the show, Wayne.
Okay.
And asked him if he needed any help.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, Wayne's like, yeah, sure, why not? And I'd always wanted to go to Mr. Olympia anyway, so I got me a ticket and hopped on a plane and went down there and had the time of my life.
Well, but did you get to watch the show, or were you just kind of managing security there?
No, I watched the show. I was inside the venue where the show was held.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was inside, right there where the show was held, standing by the door.
So you got a free ticket and you were paid to be at the 1991 Olympia?
Yeah, and watched the whole show.
So what was that like seeing Lee Haney take his final Olympia?
It was good. It was great, It was a great show. I thoroughly enjoyed it and had a time of life. I even got to go backstage and talk to Lee, because I was part of security. Yeah, and talked to Lee and took pictures with him and everything.
What were you talking about?
I don't even remember. It's been so long ago.
Yeah. 29 years.
Yeah, I was a little nervous, So, yeah, but I remember talking to him and taking pictures with him and stuff like that. And that was it, He had to hurry up and go on stage, They was only out back for a minute, between like prejudging and posing round or something.
So what was that like? What was that like seeing Lee Haney up close in flesh? Because I know he was one of your kind of, when you were in your early days of bodybuilding in the early 90s, late 80s. He was someone that you said in your book, you certainly looked up to and admired. And so what was that like seeing him in the flesh?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. It was a great opportunity for me. Just now getting into sport. Also, one was my second year in it. So to see him right away, really motivated me that much more to, want to, do good.
Yeah.
And I did.
Well, a few weeks later, wasn't it when you took fourth place at the 19-1 NPC Nationals?
Yeah.
So you played, and Kevin of Rome won that one, and then you went to the IFBB World Amateur Championships, and that's when you won, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Sure was.
And you turned pro.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly.
So what was that like being security at a Mr. Olympia one year, watching it, and then the 1992 Olympia, you're on stage?
I never would have had dreamed it would have happened so fast, because I do remember all the people that I talked to that were at the show. They were like, "Why are you not up there on stage?" I'm like, I'm nowhere near as good as those guys. Right. I said, this is just my, first, second year into the sport, so I don't think I'll ever be able to make it up there with those guys. Because, you just getting into something, you don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
And the reason why I got into the sport, because the guy told me to give me a free membership to the gym. He didn't he didn't like guarantee me I was going to be a pro or nothing like that, He just, he thought I should do it. And I was like, well, if you think I should, then maybe I should. So I ended up just doing it just because he gave me that free membership and didn't expect nothing from it.
So you kind of had a fast start, and then it took a few years. It kind of took another 6 years before you won the Olympia of continually working away.
Exactly. Yeah. Because the 93, I didn't even qualify for the Olympics, back then you had to place in the top 3 in a regular pro show. Anybody that placed in the top 3 in the regular pro show qualified for the Olympia back in my day when I competed. Of course, they changed now. And I didn't place in the top 3 in no shows that year.
And then it was.
So 90 was the first time I ever placed in the top 3 and made it back to the Olympia.
So from 92 to 96, you were climbing, and then you went down to, and then you went up to 6th place, and then 97 you dropped to 9th place, and then in 1998, obviously you came back, and no, you look very, very shocked when you won that one.
That ain't the word for it. I was very, very, very overwhelmingly shocked that I won. I never thought in a million years that I would even make it in the top 2.
In the top 2?
Top 3, top 3, not 2. My goal was always top 5, And I figured if I could make the top 5, that would be, a life dream for me. So like I said, getting into it just for a free membership, I always had a full-time job. I didn't really, need to make money from the sport because I was set and doing what I was doing. Samson, how's everything going, bro?
Everything's going well, man.
Nice. Are you excited about coming up? About to get excited?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely excited. It's gonna be one hell of a show.
2 weeks out now?
Yeah, 2.5 weeks out.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of you online. You're looking real good there. You working with Milos, right?
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, that means you go ahead and be the first to wish you the best of luck. I know you've been working training hard. What's your limit is this for you?
Oh man, this is my debut. So for me,
cool.
Yeah, man, first time on there. So for me, I just want to make sure I bring my best into the show.
Yeah, well, the best advice I can give you is go out there and have as much fun as possible and kick as much ass as you possibly can.
Yeah, I tend to do that. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I remember my first one. It was in Helsinki, Finland, and I was just probably excited as you are. Being my first time on there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to get on that stage and get it on.
Yeah, definitely. I think I feel like that right now. It's been.
How you feeling right now?
Man, I'm excited. I'm really excited, man. I think you probably know how it feels like being your first one, but I've definitely worked hard and for a long road to get here. So at this point, I'm excited to get it on. I know I'm bringing my best to the stage, and I'm ready to show that.
Oh, okay. So you glad for the Olympia to be back in Vegas, or
Yeah, man. Like the dream is always when you want to do your first Olympia, is always to be in the main ground. So. Vegas is definitely where it's at. As much as it's cool when he was in Atlanta, everybody is definitely, Vegas is where it's home, isn't it? So definitely glad for it to be back there.
Take it from me, somebody that's been there and done that. I don't think there's no better place to have the Mr. Olympia than Vegas.
Yeah.
I've competed in Atlanta, Helsinki, California, LA. Where else? There's one other place I can't think of right now. Oh, where is it? Oh, New York.
Yeah.
York. I can't believe I'm forgetting the most important one. But the places they've had it have all been great.
Yeah.
But nothing in the world compares to Vegas.
Yeah.
It's the absolute perfect place to have I think any kind of show, Yeah. So this is the, capital of all shows. There's always something to do in Vegas. Always.
What's the first thing you do after you finish the Olympia, after you get off stage?
Huh?
What's the first thing you like to do after you finish the Olympia?
I got a routine that I go to the room and eat pizza.
That's exactly what I got planned.
Yep. And then I leave there and go to McDonald's.
Oh,
have hamburgers. And then I leave there and go to the strip club.
Dude, that sounds like one hell of a night. Yeah, that's a plan right there.
Yeah, and I ended right there at the strip club. We always leave about 7 in the morning because seminar that morning. The next
So
morning.
that's like all night event.
I don't get any sleep whatsoever.
Oh man. Okay, all right. I'm digging that. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I think I got plan for the night then. I got a plan for post Olympia then.
Oh, okay. So how has the prep been going so far?
So far it's been hard, man. Milos has definitely put me through the ringer. He definitely wants me to bring my absolute best, bring that 90s look back to the stage. So to say it's been a hard prep is an understatement. But you know what?
You haven't had any setback or any injuries or nothing, have you?
Oh, no. This is one thing that I got to be very glad for. I haven't had any injury in my career so far. So touch wood, it carries on that way. But,
you can avoid the injuries. It's always going to be a very good thing for you. Trust me on that. That's major thing that you got to avoid, because injuries in bodybuilding have never got along at all. So how long have you been bodybuilding now?
I've been doing it now for just over 7 years, coming up to 8 years now. So
yeah, well, I'm a little bit different than most people. I had only been competing about 2 years before I made my first Olympia. I started in 90, and my first Olympia was 92.
Oh, wow. That's fast.
So I was a little bit fortunate. When you got genetics, things go a bit different for you. Everybody has their own path, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you expect to place it this year's Olympia?
Man, I keep saying, man, be my first one. I keep saying I just hope to crack the top 10, but from there it's basically as high as they can place me. Yeah, but I know I'm bringing my best to the show, That is in my call, right? So
yeah. So what placing would you be happy with?
Legendary. I'm legendary. Yeah, I'm legendary. I'm taking the crown. That's why I came. 'Cause I came to reign. Know the name. Nothing can stop me. I can't be contained. I was born ready. I'm legendary. This is my legacy. I'm made for this shit. This is my moment. I was born for this shit. I make it rumble when I show my grit. I am the raw. I am the real. I am the strong. I am the great. Yeah. I'm legendary. Notorious. Victorious. I'm legendary.
The time is now for you to build your own legacy. Powered by Ronnie Coleman's Signature Series.
Happy with
first. I'll be, of course, it's the first one. Like I said, it's the first one now. So definitely, if I, especially given how big this lineup is, with this many guys in it, definitely, anywhere in that top 10, you definitely got to be a positive,
Where have y'all been prepping at?
Because I'm here in the UK, and we're just prepping right here in the UK, and Milo's just kind of be looking over me over online and stuff. So
I think it ain't where you prep, is how you prep.
Oh yeah, that one is definitely firsthand. Definitely that.
What do you think has been your biggest sacrifice in the sport?
Man, I think with this one, it's definitely time with my family. That is definitely been mentally it's been a crazy mental battle. It's something like a lot of guys don't speak about, but it's definitely been a crazy mental battle, just sort of dealing with the struggles of it and dealing with ups and downs of the mood swings and everything else. And
I know all about that.
Yeah, so definitely had all of that this prep.
Have you always wanted to be a bodybuilder? Did you want to be something else?
No. I was a rugby player. I was a rugby player all through my 20s, and I started bodybuilding at the age of 29, so I started late.
Yeah, you kind of like me.
I
football. And I thought I was going to be a professional football player, and that didn't work out. So I came to Dallas and got a job. And I got my degree in accounting.
Yeah.
So I tried to find that. But I never really wanted to be a bodybuilder, but God had other plans.
Yeah, this is the same here. I never really gave any thought of bodybuilding. My lady told me, you know what, you got a good structure for it. You really should think about it. And I thought, man, I don't want to. I'm a grown man. I don't want to stand on stage in pants, man.
Yeah.
That ain't work.
Yeah, Brian did that to me. He talked me into by giving me a free membership to the gym when I was very poor.
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, just about anything was free, you know, especially when it came to working out, because working out has always been my hobby.
Yeah.
My whole entire life since I was 12 years old.
All right. Yeah.
What changes did you have to make in your diet, you know, this year? Anything different from last year?
I mean, this year I think, you know, where before for years, you know, I've kind of worked by myself, kind of getting myself in shape and stuff like that. But I think since last year, I started working with Milos. He's sort of taken over that and sort of, you know, taught me a lot about, you know, not just how to diet, but how to do it properly and how to really suck down and really sort of get into that conditioning part of things and everything else. So he sort of taught me that. And, you know, since I started working with him, we've seen change and everything sort of manipulated drastically, you know. And since then, we qualified for the Olympia.
How'd you qualify for the Olympia?
I won EVLS Prague last year.
Oh, okay. You won that show?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations on you. Did you first win?
Yeah, that was my first pro win, yeah.
Milo, you working with him at the time also?
Yeah, I was working with him at the time when we got that win. And then
can't find nobody better than Milo. That guy really knows his stuff.
He does know his stuff.
On it, and he will get you ready, and he don't care how you know much you complain. It's either his way or the highway. That's the way to go. You can't go wrong with him.
Definitely, that is definitely Milo's strategy, man. He really does not give a damn how much you're suffering. He looks. We can do some more. Yeah, just a little bit more.
Milo's has been through it. He knows all about the suffering and all the hard work that goes into it. He's done it, so he ain't gonna take it easy on you because he feels like if he can do it, you can do it.
And you know what? That's why I trust him. You know, he's done it at this level. He's done it all himself, so he knows when he tells you, you got to do this and you have to do that and you have to do this much. You know, he's done it himself, so you can trust him to say, okay, right. If he's done it, I can do it.
Do you have a training partner?
I train with my girl, man. I train with my lady. I've always trained with my lady.
My girl was my best training partner ever.
Yep, and that's exactly it with me.
I train with, you know, a few guys, you know.
Yeah.
They okay, but
no, not the same.
Girl,
not the same, right?
She is the best training partner I've ever had. She was there every day, on time every day. Always trained hard, had a good attitude.
Oh yeah.
Me, you know, pretty much she wasn't. Of course, she wasn't trying to challenge me, but
she was to keep you on track.
She was doing her thing, and I was doing my thing. In our own way.
Oh yeah.
And worked out for the best. So.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I got to give you props on that one.
I know, man, because she keeps me on track, man. She knows how hard I can go. So she knows when I'm backing off as well. So she knows how to kick my ass and tell me, stop playing around.
How long y'all been together now?
Oh, we've been together for over 8 years now.
Oh yeah, she knows you real well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because she got me into the sport herself, so she knows, and especially when she lives with me, so she knows I can't cheat on my diet because she makes sure she got an eye on me the whole time. So, yeah.
So, how many years do you see yourself competing in Mr. Olympia?
Man, as long as I can go. You know, I think Dexter sort of set a record for how long the guy can go. So if I make it to 50, because I start late, if I make it to 50, I will gladly do that. If this body allows me to. I'm lucky I haven't had any injuries or anything like that. I haven't had any issues since I started the sport.
How tall are you?
I keep going until I can't no more.
Hey, who is your biggest competition you think at this show?
Everybody. I think it's
you know what I always said?
Yeah.
My biggest competition was me, because I was always trying to top what I did, the year before.
Yeah.
I never looked at what anybody else was doing. My first Olympia.
No.
And you kind of have that advantage when you the reigning champion too.
Yeah, because all you got to do is beat whatever you brought last, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I kind of it might be the same for you too in that aspect. Even though, I mean, you're gonna have condition and you're gonna always try to be better.
Yeah.
That was pretty much all the questions I had for you.
I would say, like, when you got to your heaviest at the off season, what did you get up to and what did it feel like?
I got up to 3. I think it's on camera. It's on one of my videos. I think I was 330.
Because I got to 330 this past off season. I'm 6 foot.
Oh, I'm 5'11", so.
All right, so a few inches.
My 330 wasn't too bad because I could still do splits at it, you know.
Oh man, no, dude, I was breaking everything. I was breaking furniture. I was definitely. It was.
How old are you right now?
I'm 36. So okay.
My body game up. Really peaking until I got to around like 39, 40. That's my body really started peaking.
Yeah. All right. So that's a good gauge then. I like that. So yeah, so I got another 4 years at least. So I'm liking that. So okay. And that
I competed on that Olympia stage for about 6-7 times before I won.
Oh wow. Okay.
92. I won. My first Olympia was 92. I won in 98. So that's 6 years.
So 6 years before I actually won the first one. I like that. I see.
But everybody's body is different. Every era is different. So you might do it soon. You never know. Yeah. But I can tell you one thing. You are on the right track. You look good. You're conditioning good. You're one of the best trainers out there. Hey, bro, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with me and do this little interview. And like I said, anytime you want to ask me anything, Milo know how to get a hold of me. But I don't think you'll need anything from me, because you got one of the best guys in the world training with you. But any kind of life experience, I guess you want to ask.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I had it pretty good because my family was my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
I used to tell people that the bodybuilding is not an individual sport.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we up there on that stage all by ourselves. But my mom cooked all my food. My sister did all my fan mail and stuff. Yeah. My brother, he helped me with my cars and took care of that. My sister cleaned my house, washed my clothes. So I had my whole family helping me out. So bodybuilding is not an individual sport. You need a great team behind you.
100%.
Yeah, so hopefully you have that, and I think you have that. You're on your way to stardom, my friend.
Thanks, man. Definitely.
I think, one day this Olympia thing is going to be wide open, And with the physique you got just as good a chance as, any of the other guys out there.
I appreciate it, man.
Right now, I think Big Rami has a lead on everybody, but that's not gonna last too long.
He ain't. Yeah, definitely.
Especially the way the sport is going now. You never know. You're gonna have a bad day. Anything can happen. Anything is possible. Anything can happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good luck out there, and like I said, have fun and kick as much ass as you possibly can.
Definitely.
Go in there with a great attitude, and you'll do good. You'll do good, bro.
Thank you.
Looking real good.
Thank you. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
Like I said, thanks for talking to us. Thanks for coming on the show. And like I said, if you ever have any questions, if you want to talk to me about anything, Milo know how to get in touch with me. But like I said, I don't think you would need anything from me. It seems like you on the right path. You with the right guy. You got your girl, and I'm quite sure the rest of the family is right there with y'all.
Oh yeah. Oh man, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Definitely.
Good luck. Like I said, kick some ass and have some fun.
We'll do, man. Thanks very much.
That's what it's all about.
Thanks, man.
Charles, anything you want to add?
No, I'm good. Like I said, I'm just looking forward for all of us meeting up at the Olympia, seeing Samson in that first call out, and finally him getting to make his pro debut at the Olympia. I mean, it's just going to be so exciting. And like I said, Ronnie, he really does have a good team behind him. So yeah, can't wait.
What day you getting in there, Samson?
The 12th, Monday, the 12th, just a week before the show. Yeah.
I always went in around Tuesday, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll be there around Tuesday.
Awesome.
So I'm quite sure I'll see you around somewhere.
That was the most confident. I mean, I was really confident at Arnold, obviously based off his conditioning. I was pretty confident, but the first couple of years, first couple of years are tough. Like that first year, you don't know what they're going to do. And then the second year, you got to kind of solidify things. I was confident with where he was at. Obviously, 03, I was like, I'd have bet the bank. Like it was lights out. Like I was so confident coming in. I remember everybody's like, how's Ronnie look? I go, game over, dude. Game over. Like, game over.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
Did you see a bit of a change in kind of Ronnie's kind of fire after the GNC show, the show of strength? I mean, obviously that was because you pulled him right down for that, and obviously got beat by Gunter. Then did you see like a complete change in his attitude for the 2003?
100%. Like that was like you said. Like a lot of times, like after the Olympia, he would take a break. He'd go on a cruise. Like he'd do all these things, and then we would kind of just chill out until like February sometimes. Like it just depended. Like after the GNC, we basically talked and we were like, listen, we got to change everything. We got to revamp this, and we got to shock the fuck out of the world. Like we got to, we're gonna have to redo this, and literally. We would have never probably seen 03 without the GNC.
Yep.
Like that's the truth.
I went to the gym every day with this attitude. If they want to go to war, I'll take them to war.
And
that was my motto for that year to myself.
It motivated both of us.
The hardest ever. I was doing 500-pound bench press for reps, 800-pound deadlifts for reps. 800-pound squats for reps. I was crazy that year. Everything I did was heavy. I mean, I would put like 245-pound plates on on machines, like pull downs and stuff. It's got like a 250 or 300-pound stack. Oh, that wasn't enough for me. I put another 45 on and another 45 on. I mean, everything was heavy. Everything. And it was heavy every single day.
I was like that the whole prep from like day one.
From day one.
And
it was still intense every single day. Because I figured, they're trying to take this thing away from me. Oh, okay. I got a surprise for them. They don't know. They done turned me into a monster. So I'm gonna give them that. I'm gonna give what they really want.
Chad,
that's what I'm telling you. That's what it took. It took that motivation to drive Ronnie to that next level. He was already at a different level. That drove him to the next level. But it did the same thing to me too, because like it made me kind of get out of my comfort zone of what we were kind of just clicking away. We had like the game plan, we had everything like formulated perfect, and I'm like, listen, we gotta start over. We gotta start completely over, and we gotta like rethink this whole process because we're leaving so much on the table. And so we both just stepped up the game and just took it to that level.
Chad, what was your reaction when Ronnie said he wanted to do the 2001 Arnold, being the current Mr. Olympia and having to do 2 preps that year? Were you nervous?
I wasn't nervous because we had never really had a glitch, and I knew he'd competed, multiple times, in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But we had never really done like a super hard, prep like that, and we like going back to back. So really, like we went back to back to back because when you think about it. We had just finished the Olympia. There's not much of a break in there. So we literally have, we have basically a rebound phase where we get the weight up, go right back into prep again. We get done with the Arnold. We basically do the exact same thing and go back into the Olympia prep again. So it was like prep. And these are all big preps. These aren't like, hey man, we can hit this at 90%. These are big preps. And eventually by the time we got to the Olympia that year, the body was just fighting everything.
Yeah, it only peaked once a year, I found out. You can only peak once a year. And I was like, okay, I got it now. Never again. One show a year after this. So you learn a lot about your body from doing certain things.
Even with all those Grand Prix tours that you've done, where you've done multiple shows in several weeks.
Yeah, but you don't have to peak at the Grand Prix.
Those are back-to-back.
Yeah, those are back-to-back. And plus, nobody's in, like, tip-top shape, Nobody's really dieting, like, hardcore like we were for the Olympia. We're just cruising, And like I say, everything is back-to-back. And you just on cruise mode in those shows. You're not like hardcore. Everybody's not giving it their all. Like I said, we just basically cruising. We're not eating like we do at home, like clean chicken and clean steak. You just eat what they give you. A lot of times they was giving us hamburgers.
I remember when you guys arrived to the hotel in Nottingham, and Paul Dillette, I think you and I think it might be Chris Cormier, you all ordered burger and fries, and I couldn't believe it.
Exactly. So that's where it was for everybody. Yeah. Everybody was doing the same thing. Nobody was like really hardcore dieting. We were just there just for the hang out with the fans and make a little extra money. And everybody had that same attitude. It's just like the guys nowadays. Nobody comes in real good hard conditioning because nobody's really forcing the issue. So everybody's coming in like the same. You have maybe like one guy in shape, maybe sometimes two, but never no more than that because some of the shows the precedent is set at the top, and the top guy is not even in shape. And so that just carries the whole era that way. So the guys you see today, they wouldn't make the top 5, not even close. Probably not the top 10 with the conditioning that they have. But not saying that they don't work hard, and don't diet hard, but we worked harder and we dieted harder. Everybody was trying to, back in the day, everybody was trying to make some money. Everybody was hungry for money. So we all dieted harder because everybody was coming in shape. So you trying to match your competition. So that's what that era was all about. Conditioning, being in great shape. Every show. There was never a show where the top guy wasn't in the top condition. At least the top 3 or 4. Every show, the top 5 was hard, spot on, top condition guys. Because that's the era that we were in at that time.
And those guys have been around for a while too. Like these guys, they weren't new to the game. Like, I mean, some of these guys took, 4 or 5 years to turn pro and then, build. So, they built this process and, by the time they got there, I mean, through hard work and stuff, they had to just keep going, next level. And I mean, you can look at some of those guys. I mean, there's guys in, that era, and I'm not knocking this era because I love this era too. But, there was guys that were, fucking 10th place that looked crazy. Like, you could take some of those eras, and the 10th place guy would still be very, very competitive, dominate probably this era,
Yeah. I'm not knocking the era either. I'm just saying, the top guys set the precedent on how you're going to look, how pretty much everybody's going to look. There will be shows, where me, Flex, and Kevin, one week, I beat Flex at a show, and the next week he beat me. Same thing, Kevin. One week, Kevin would beat Flex, and the next week, Flex would beat Kevin, because everybody was hungry back then. Everybody was trying to make top dollar, Everybody was trying to get signed, to contracts and make more money being signed, because every year, you had to renew your contract. And you went by how you did in the shows, determine how much money you got. Yeah. So you were always trying to make top dollar, for the most part.
It was close too. Like when you look at the guys, like, even like today, like the era today, like, I mean, there's great bodybuilders. There's no doubt. Like, there's great bodybuilders.
They work hard too. They do work hard now. I'm not saying they don't work hard.
In between are big. Like there's, like if you take, first and then second and then third, like, they're okay. But then by the time you get to fourth and then you go to fifth and then you go to sixth, like there's bigger gaps versus, where they were, in that era. Dude, it was close. Like, I mean, all it took was a percentage here and a percentage there, and you moved up spots. Like, It was super, super close. You can be, you can be off a little bit here and still kind of nail that same, positioning. But the good thing about this era right now is you're starting to see some guys realize that, like I'll take Akeem, perfect example. Like he's always had like, always had the size, but he's never kind of showed up in shape. Now all of a sudden you've seen him kind of show up in shape. He's starting to move up that ladder. He's starting to get hungry. He's starting to see what's, possible, and he's seeing what these guys are doing based off of conditioning. Hottie, another one who's in good shape. He's not the biggest guy, but he shows up in shape.
Yeah.
He's dominating guys that are much, bigger, better genetics than him, but he shows up in shape, you know what I mean? And so these guys are starting to realize, I think, like, hey, listen, we're going to have to work a little bit harder. Like, we're going to have to push the envelope a little bit. Hopefully we're going to see something, change a little bit over the next few years.
Yeah, it can change. It can change.
Chad, I spoke to Ronnie a few episodes ago, and he said now that Ramy is working with you, he feels that Ramy can win 4, 5, 6 Olympias working with you now? What's your feelings on that?
Or more.
I think he's in the driver's seat right now. And I think, he's one of those guys that, and don't get me wrong, like, I still think he needs to improve. I still think, we're still trying to make him better. But
He will get better. He'll get a lot better.
Yeah. But he, we know where his body can go now. And it will, just like Ronnie, like he went to one place, and then he went to the next place. Yeah. Then he went a step forward. And that's going to be the key with, Big Ramy. Like we know the formula, and he's went through the process now. He'd never went into that type of diet before. And it's like you have to.
He'll be a lot better this year than he was last year.
You got to be tunnel vision, and it's a dark place. Like you got to go somewhere that most people just aren't able mentally to do. Like they're just not.
It's so tough. It's so hard.
Yeah.
In what way, Chad? In what way? With training or what overall?
Oh, you got to realize you got to be, you're going to diet so hard, and you're going to do the same thing over and over. You're going to be at a calorie deficit, and you're going to be doing 2 hours of cardio, and you still got to train like an animal, and you still got to get up every single day and do it every single day. And every day it gets harder. And your brain tells you to stop every day. Every day it gets harder. And mentally, your brain's trying to figure out a way to just, to tell you, hey, we shouldn't be doing this. We need my body needs more food. I'm out of energy. I need to do this. Yeah. And you can't. You've got to mentally be able to just keep breaking through that barrier. That's the difference between the great and the good. Because the good are genetically blessed, they train hard, but they're not able to break through that barrier. Your mind tells them, hey, listen, you need this, you need that. And they convince themselves that that's what they need, and they never go to that like deep, dark place. And it's hard to do. Like it's literally a very, very few can do it. Very few can do it.
It got so hard for me. Doing 2 hours of cardio a day, taking in about maybe 200 grams of carbs a day. Wow. Some days 150.
Wow.
I couldn't even load the weight on the bar. I had to hire somebody to load my weight. Because if I had to load my weight and do the weights, I wouldn't have made it through the workout. So that's why you saw a little guy with me every time I worked out. He would hand me the weight. I couldn't pick those weights up and then lift them too. He would hand the weight to me, and then I would lift it. He would load the bar up for me, and then I would lift it. Because one day I was in the gym, I'll never forget it. This is when I started, doing 150 grams of carbs a day. I was trying to load the leg press up, and I got to like 8th place. I'm like, man, I'm exhausted. I can't even load the bar. So I had to sit down and rest. And finally somebody came over and said, hey man, you need some help? I'm like, yeah, I need help. Please help me. He helped me load the bar. And I'm like, okay, I see what I gotta do. I gotta hire somebody to go to the gym with me every day to load the bar and hand me the weight. So I'm too exhausted to do all of that work.
It's tough too. And and the thing is, you gotta do it every day.
You never do in your life. But you figure out a way to get through it.
Yeah. Ramy got to a point, this is no shit. Ramy got to a point when he was at Dennis's, and he was just in that point. I knew like I was gonna push him right to the edge. And Dennis calls me, he's like, dude, he goes, man, he's dying. And I said, we're not there yet, because he wasn't there yet. And
how many weeks out? How many weeks out?
This is about 2.5 weeks out.
Oh, right.
So,
Okay.
We were close. We had about 5, 6, 7, 8 more days to go. And he's like, Dennis goes, I walked into the bedroom and he was kneeled down beside the bed, and he goes, I thought he was praying, and he goes, what are you doing? He goes, man, Dennis, I'm dying, man. I think I'm afraid to lay down.
Oh no!
Back up. He was afraid to lay down because he thought he was literally dying. He was thinking about going home. He literally called me. He goes, Chad, I'm thinking about going back home. I'm like, no, don't go back home. He goes, listen, if I'm gonna die, I want to be with my family. And I go, listen, man, you just don't realize you're eating way more food than you think. I go, but your mind is telling you to stop because you're in a place that you have never been. Never. And it's a dark, deep place that you've got to experience. And I said, we're almost there. I said, and Dennis had been there before. That's why it was so important that he got to Dennis. And he'd been there before. And I said, just listen to Dennis, follow everything he says. He's going to get you through this. I said, I'm telling you, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel right now. We're 5, 6, maybe 7 days away. And he dug deep and went through it. And then, once we started changing his, food around and we started introducing things back in, he was like, man, I literally had never felt like that before in my life. Like, I never felt anything like it. My mind didn't work. My brain didn't work. Like, nothing worked.
Nothing's working. You don't have enough energy to have your body function right. And it's like that every single day. That's why I try to tell people, I think bodybuilding is the hardest sport ever. Ever. Boxers, basketball players, football players, they go through a lot, but they don't have to diet to the level that we have to diet to get in the shape that we need to stand on stage and do what we do and take our bodies to another level. But and then we don't get the financial aspect of what we have to put our bodies through to get up there to go through that. So you got a lot of things going against you.
Subscribe and share and like and comment. But now as you like.